Okay. I think we're on. I can never tell. Okay.
I see the counter.
Yeah, you see it. Yeah, I see it too, but sometimes it like right, I don't know. I think we're on.
I think usually it's just counting down to the death of my career.
Wow. I think we're here. Hey, it's Johnny Beane. It's 5:13 p.m. It's California. You know? It's all California tonight, you guys. But for you East Coast friends, it's 8:14. Yeah, sorry we're a little bit late. You know, it's a busy.
I was taking an enema, and you know, the things get stuck. Those big, rubber nipples that get stuck up there. So you gotta. I didn't have a person with me to yank it back out.
Oh wow.
So,
dang it. March 3rd. Hey, hello, March. First show of March 2020. John Mancuda.
Yeah, we're marching into the death of my career.
Hey, Fruitcake Tony. Yeah, and sorry to disappoint everybody, but there's no Nesdal tonight.
Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint everyone. I showed up. Everyone's like, "Oh, I heard someone's not going to be here tonight." It's Mancuda.
Wrong one.
Oh man, we wanted Dave.
Oh yeah, he went to a concert, so we'll see. Who knows? Maybe he'll check in. You never know.
That'd be funny. Dave's in the audience of the concert. The concert's like, "Hello, everybody. How are you today?" And Dave's like, yeah. So we're here live at the show, and the concert. The guy on the stage is like, "What are you doing? Hey, asshole! Get off your phone, moron! I'm broadcasting live. This is Johnny Beane."
Man.
Yeah, Ron Jeremy is here. He's right here. This is him.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Look at. Oh gosh.
Jesus.
So cool. Look at that. You're an actual.
I'm stacking boxes in front of the mic just so you could hear me better. My audio always sucks.
Sounds great tonight, man.
No, there you go.
Sounds great.
The good news is I sound great. The bad news is you're hearing me. The bad news is all the content is my bullshit. So, and yes, Jimmy Biter, it is a Blue Yeti microphone.
Yeah, look at that.
Do I sound good to you guys in the chat today? Do I sound a little better? I've got it. This mic is almost down my throat. I feel like Tracy Lords.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you sound great.
Yeah,
you sound great. So that's awesome, because this is also a podcast available on iTunes or Apple. Is iTunes even a thing anymore? Apple Podcast, Spotify, TuneIn. What's the other one? Hopefully iHeartRadio at some point. And also we're live on Periscope as well on Twitter.
Oh,
so tap the screen, give us some hearts. Do that over on Periscope.
So all the guys in submarines are looking at us.
Yeah.
Hey, sailor.
Yeah.
Blue Rhino says hi to everybody.
Hey, Blue Rhino.
There we are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. The last couple few shows, I've been going going live on like two places at once. So this one's on YouTube and Periscope, and then yesterday I was live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time.
You're like Archie Andrews with he's got a date with Veronica at the prom, and he's got a date at Pop's Chocolate Shop with Betty. So he's like running across the street to go kiss Veronica, then running back to be live with Betty. So that's what you're doing, basicking the love.
It's cool. It's cool. It's dragging more people in here, which I've noticed. You know,
That's good.
so
Everyone's
very good.
commenting in the chat. Hello, everyone in the chat, by the way. Everyone's commenting in the chat that my camera looks good too. So I apologize for not being more handsome. I got to go that route.
Yeah. Yeah, look at this. We're professional tonight. We got microphones and cameras and everything. And we're
ready to make a real porn. This is great. Oh boy.
Oh, I just want to let you know really quickly. I posted this on Facebook yesterday, but then I deleted it because I thought it was kind of weird. But I was at Safeway, and I figured I would try my own chicken and donut. Meal.
Make your own, not the KFC one.
Not the KFC one. And I didn't even make I took bites is what I did. You know, so you got the chicken there and the donut. And let me just say, when I was done, my stomach hurt so bad. I don't know. It could have been the Safeway chicken, actually. I think the KFC one is probably better. But it was kind of weird. I mean, you'd think it wouldn't. I think the only thing that might make it kind of strange is the sweetness of the donut.
Well, what type of donuts were the ones you got at Safeway?
I got just a glazed donut.
Was it like vanilla glaze, like heavy sugary glaze, or what was the deal?
It was just regular. Yeah, just like a regular glazed donut, like what they have at KFC. Although not as much glaze, though.
And what you use for the fried chicken?
Just Safeway fried chicken, just a drumstick.
So wait a second. So what? You just put the drumstick bone in between two donuts?
No. I just took a bite of each. I just took a bite instead of making like some sort of a sandwich or something.
So wait, so you had a donut in one hand and a chicken in the other, and you're like,
yeah.
Do you do that instead of Reese's? Do you have like a jar of peanut butter and a Hershey bar, and you're like, you make your own?
Yeah.
You do that with combos. You take like a bite of cheese and then a bite of a pretzel, and in your mouth you're making it.
Yeah, as you chew it. It kind of makes.
Hold on, I'm making a lasagna. I'm gonna eat a bite of meat and then a bite of a tomato and then a bite of a noodle and a piece of cheese stick. I'm gonna chew it in my mouth and then it's like lasagna.
Although it takes
a cookbook like that.
It takes a few bites to actually taste like what it's supposed to be like, or like you put some cereal in your mouth and you pour the milk into your mouth.
Why don't you just like pour some Nestle, take a spoon of Nestle Quick and like pour it in your mouth and then take a swig of milk and just go.
I think I've done that. I think I've actually done that.
Like ghetto chocolate milk.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, my stomach kind of hurt after that. Although it's not the weirdest thing.
Yeah, God's punishing you.
But it wasn't that much cheaper than the KFC version, So I probably should have just gone to KFC. But I really didn't want to eat, the main thing, I don't know why we're talking about this, but the main thing is I can't eat 2 donuts. I eat 1 donut, I'm fine. 2 donuts is way too much, for me. Too much bread, too sweet.
Well, we're talking about this because I did that review of the KFC chicken donut sandwich after the show last week. I made a video of it that we posted up for those that didn't see it.
Yeah, there'll be a card. We're
talking about it now.
Yeah, there'll be a card right there next to that subscribe icon on the right hand side. Right there. Have you gone back?
Only to issue a subpoena for my heart damage. Yeah, you know what it is? After I ate that sandwich, I also bought a lot of chicken after that. I bought a bucket of chicken, and like my heart was just so seized after that. I just didn't. It took me like 2 days before I felt good enough to eat like fried chicken again. It was like, Jesus Christ. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube and watch the video. It's pretty fun. I'm gonna start doing food reviews.
Yeah. Food reviews are fun.
So someone asked me, I missed it because we were talking about Periscope. Someone asked me what t-shirt I'm wearing today. This is X-Men Days of Future Past, which is the cover to the comic book X-Men 141, drawn by John Byrne. If you're a big X-Men fan, it's got Wolverine and Kitty Pryde behind a very cool wanted poster of all the dead X-Men. Very cool. If you're a comic book buff, it's one of the best stories out there. I'm a huge comic book aficionado. So there you go.
Yeah.
What goes better with heavy metal than comic books?
Yeah. And chicken and donuts.
Yeah, chicken and donuts. Everything except women, apparently. That's it. These are the dates I don't get.
Man. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was my day yesterday, having the drumstick and the donut and then feeling really sick. That was
Look, if you're going to get sick, do it with the right sandwich. Get the actual KFC chicken and donut sandwich. Wash it down with a delicious Bang energy drink. Our sponsor. Thank you, Bang.
What flavor is that?
This one is rainbow unicorn. So I imagine some unicorns like looking around and then he's like rubbing one out in a can. I'm sure Bang appreciates my description of that. But it's actually very delicious. Thank you, Bang, for your tolerance and your sponsorship.
Yeah, maybe they'll make a chicken and donuts flavor.
Yeah, that would be great. You know, they make all sorts of chips like that, all sorts of Lay's potato chips. It's like you look on the store, it's like prime rib and ketchup, chocolate and celery flavor, lemon and chicken. It's like, yeah, all right. You try it.
I've seen some of those. And the ones, yeah, if it says something in ketchup, it just tastes like ketchup. You know.
That's a big thing in Canada. The fully dressed.
Right. You know the thing with that though, I got those one time at Whole Foods. There's a 365 version of those. The thing is with those chips, there's a warning label on it that says this can cause cancer.
Everything causes cancer.
Well, I guess that's true. But
by the way, today is Super Tuesday, and since we don't do politics on the show, it's going to be Super Strat Tuesday because I have a very cool vintage Super Strat for show and tell later today. Just letting everyone know.
Awesome.
So Super Strat Tuesday, right?
Super Strat Tuesday. That's cool.
Super Strat Tuesday.
Super Strat Tuesday.
Yeah, everyone's looking at my microphone. I'm gonna name this microphone Ron Jeremy. Everyone's like, hey, Mancuda, what's that long oblong object in front of your mouth? I should get like a little doll of Ron Jeremy and just put it right here in front of me, so it looks like his wang is sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. And let's give a shout out to our buddy Nesdal, who's at the show, and we miss you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you later in the week.
Mm-hmm. Well, what time is it? It's about 8:30 there. So yeah, either they're probably playing the show or probably about to start or something.
Yeah, Renus Pinkle says Ron Jeremy can't even keep it up anymore. But you know what? When it's limp, he could just sling it over his shoulder. So I'm still jealous. You know?
Ugh.
I mean, when he could get it hard, if that still happens, I don't know. But if he could get it hard, I mean, the guy's running his own 3-legged race, so yeah, it's good times. Johnny, what have you been listening to this week?
Music wise,
yeah.
Well, you guys are gonna get me for this. I was listening to the last Katy Perry.
Best of Menudo. That's why I thought you said.
Yeah, I didn't have, you guys know this. I listen to everything. I listen to all different kinds of music, and to be a kind of a well-rounded musician, you have to appreciate well, pretty much everything there is. And I listen to a lot of different stuff, and I bought
New Kids on the
the
Block Greatest Edition.
no, no, I didn't. I didn't. Although I do have a lot of friends actually on Facebook that go to see them, so I'm always seeing their concert pictures all over Facebook. You know. And speaking of Facebook, the friend requests are still coming in left and right, man. I'm over 4,000 something now. I don't know.
And they're all disposed kings of Kenya, asking for a safe bank account because they trust you.
Yeah, those ones I leave alone, but the majority of them they're actual people. They're actual like music. I'm getting a lot of musicians, a lot of producers,
I get a lot of that. Yeah,
a lot of good stuff.
Well, people that listen to the show.
Maybe that's it.
They're our audience. I mean, and we're happy to have all of you out there.
Mm-hmm. Everybody.
Did you do roll call? You want to do roll call?
No. Where are we?
Should we do a roll call?
Yeah. You always want to use the YouTube chat, not Periscope, StreamYard, because StreamYard doesn't move in real time.
How do I do that?
Well, actually, it looks like it is tonight.
Looks like it's coming in.
No, it's late. Well, it's close.
It's not mine. You'd take me on Jerry Springer to see if it's mine. Oh, it's late. You're the father. John Mancuda, you are the father of little Wentworth Twilly.
Oh, man. Okay, it looks like it's moving. It looks like it's cool. Because I got both. I got 3 computers sitting here.
All right, look, if you want to shout out, we're going to do roll call right now. Just do a little tag right now in the chat, and we will be happy to acknowledge you are here. Like Sandra Pocorni, Ejaculation, the original Paramutants, John Windsor, Headstock Harem, let's see, Dave Nesdall in my bed. That's where he was. I thought he was at a show. Headstock Karen, Fruitcake Tony, Amanda Coombs, R2R3 Locking Nut, The Chad, Janice Lala, thank you, Nightbot, Halface, Jim Nicholas, Riley Morgan, Jimmy Biter, Carlos Figueroa, Mr. BHB Jr.
Is that Bruce?
That is Bruce, I think. Joe Hervey, 84, Vistalite, 1972, John BL, 5150, how are you, brother? Brendan B. Squared, Brendan Buttcheeks, Dwight Bailey, Music Therapy Laz, Hugh Caldwell, Thomas Santiago, Carlos Figueroa, Johnny Beaner, Brian Spalding, James Gum. Dog PA says, my mother? Mom, you're here? Finally, you're watching the show? Well. Metal Soda, Blank Palette, and all the rest. Thank you all for tuning in to Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live. So we're happy as fuck to have you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very happy. And yeah, make sure you subscribe if you're brand new to this. And like, let's say if you're watching on Periscope, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, there's a little there'll be a link to the video so you can watch the video.
Yeah, and if this is your first time tuning in, we do talk about guitars and 80s metal. We talk about other shit too because we're human. So
yeah, you have to. You have to. I mean, you can't. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, there's some stuff that I watch and it's strictly like whatever it is, and it's so boring. There's like no life. There's no chicken and donut talk.
Yeah, and we like our chicken and donuts.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to. I might have to try the. See, I just got a friend request just now. I
Shauna
might
Marie
have.
sings in the house. Renus Pinkle.
Hey, R2R3.
Everyone's still coming in. Alley Cat.
Shout out
All of you guys and
R2R3.
girls. We really appreciate your viewership.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love all of you.
So you were saying, Johnny, what you were listening to this week. You were saying you're diversifying. You're listening to, what'd you say, Katy Perry?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always have. I've always listened to a lot of different stuff.
Is it because she's got big jugs or?
No.
Oh, okay. That's why
No.
I listen. I listen to see if I can hear them rattling against the microphone. When I hear like,
Oh my
I'm
God.
thinking, are those her breasts banging against the mic?
Oh,
I fantasize. I try.
Oh man. No, I didn't have the latest one, which is like 3 years old by now. And so I got it, and I'm about halfway through it because I do a lot of driving. So, that's the best time to listen to, like, to me, the best time to listen to like an album that you've never heard before is while you're driving, while you're on the road, while you're not thinking,
No, I listen to most music in my car. That's what I do more than anything. That, I rub one out at stoplights, but not while I'm driving.
Looks like I'm about halfway through the album. There was a couple on here that I thought were pretty good. Well, some of these you guys have heard, like Swish Swish. You guys have heard that one, and Bon Appetit.
Yeah, that's
probably.
That's Tracy Lord's gargling cum.
Oh gosh.
Swish Swish.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, there's some cool stuff on here, But yeah, that's what I was listening to yesterday. Was that and Duran Duran. I was listening to a live soundboard recording from the 2003 tour in Las Vegas.
Okay. Hey, listen, we've talked about them on the show before. While not metal, they are 80s, and they were very talented bands. Duran Duran broke off into Power Station and Arcadia, right?
And the Power Station actually was, I would say, more metal. More in that direction.
They did that Bang a Gongs remake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're really metal, but I mean, look, they were good. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Oh, the guitar player is one of my favorites. Andy Taylor. He's one of my top.
Oh, he's great.
Top players.
Well, that's the thing about being a guitarist. You can switch genres. If you look, I was talking last week about Spacey T from Sound Barrier. He went from an 80s metal band, over to Fishbone, which was more of like a funk, and then I think he did something with jazz, and you can adapt.
Oh, you have to. I mean, I've seen it, and yes, I did meet Ricky Martin when I lived in Miami. Jim Nicholas, yes, several times.
Was he living La Vida Loca or?
Yeah, he was recording. He was writing and recording that song when I was there.
You inspired him. He's like, man, that guy with the jaunty driving cap, man, he looks like he's living La Vida. Hey.
Yeah. But no. I mean, to be, like I was just saying, to be a well-rounded musician, you have to listen to everything, and I mean everything.
Listen, I have my ear against the neighbor's wall all the time. I hear him fighting with his wife. Believe me, I listen to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know she was a bitch until I really? Oh, wow. I listen to everything. Sure.
But, being for myself, being a guitarist, I mean, I've played in so many different bands over the years, different musical styles. It can go from, Van Halen style stuff to more, jazz or countryish or whatever it is. And, you have to be aware of all the different musical styles to be able to adapt to whatever situation it is. You don't want to be stuck. I'm just saying, for me, if you want to be a professional musician, you can't be stuck in one thing unless that's what you're known for. You know?
Well, look, I want to be a professional musician. I am stuck in one thing though. I suck. I have no talent. See, that's where I'm stuck. That sticks it to me right in the ass. I mean, I did a cover recently of that old 50-year-old song, but it was a big hit if you remember. Rubber Ducky, You're the One, sung by Ernie the Muppet. And
Yeah.
you know, I thought it would take off. I mean, it was a #1 hit back you know, back in the late 60s. I thought, you know, maybe just a misjudgment, or maybe I didn't sing it the right way, but you know, I thought a heavier version, you know, Rubber Ducky, you're the one. You make bath time so much fun. Rubber Ducky, I'm awfully fond of. Rubber Dicky just whipped me in bondage of. Rubber Dicky, I'm awfully fond of you. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you know, you gotta choose your weapons there, you know. I've been listening all week, and I started to talk about this last week before I got it, when I just heard a track or two. But all week I've been very, very obsessed over the new Ozzy album. And I'm a long time Ozzy fan. I mean, I you know, I could go into it forever. I love Randy and Jake, and just Ozzy's terrific. He's a legend. When you go back as far as Sabbath, or you go, you know, right up more current, the new Ozzy album is probably the best album he's done in you know, just years. Since No More Tears, this is the most recent Ozzy album I've really enjoyed. And it's not that I haven't enjoyed the ones after No More Tears, because I have, but maybe 2 songs out of the whole album, maybe a third one. This one is just so full of good stuff. And he's 71. He's got Parkinson's, and his vocals are just perfect. I mean, really good stuff. He's like really on sharp performance right now. And I'm just loving this stuff. And he's got a lot of guys on there. He's got Duff McKagan and Slash, and he does a duet with Elton John. And I mean, he's got so much good stuff on there. Let's just see a few other people on there. Hold on. Just going to touch base on it real quick.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it last time.
We touched on it last time, but I didn't quite have, you know, the actual album, and now I do. Just to see some of the people on here, and critics have liked it, so I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. You have Chad Smith and Andrew Watman and Duff McKagan did most of the albums, but then again, you got a duet with Elton John. I mean, that's no small feat. You got 2 songs with Post Malone, another song with Travis Scott. And again, you say, you know, Travis Scott, Elton John. This is still modern. You gotta still, if you want to get on the radio, you still gotta stay current. And this is what Ozzy is doing. It's still Ozzy, but he's doing songs with people that are currently on the radio in some cases. You got Slash playing solos, I think on 2 of them, on 2 of the tracks, and they're just good. They're really good songs. All My Life I'm addicted to, and Under the Graveyard's been in my head. There's only one song that really I wasn't nuts about, and that's just my personal taste. It's a Raid. I don't know, I thought it was a little cluttery for me, for my own taste, but I'm sure a lot of other people will dig it.
We forgot to do a raid last week.
Oh, the Johnny Beane raid. I
just remembered. You gotta do raids every show now. Every show.
Got it.
There's a lot of musicians on here. I'm looking at the Wikipedia for this.
there's tons, and a lot of them. I mean, look, you have some are back in the chorus of some songs. I mean, even Kelly Osbourne is like doing a little bit of chorus background. Tom Morello is doing some guitar tricks on 2 tracks. I mean, it's a long list of guest stars on there. But
you know why there's so many people on here? Is because it looks like he has an orchestra, and so there's like 20 different violin players on here.
Yeah, there's an orchestra, there's a chorus, so they're listing everybody. But if you look, Andrew Watt, Louis Bell, Duff McKagan, Chad Smith, Slash, Tom Morello, Charlie Puth, Elton John, Post Malone, Travis Scott, Kelly Osbourne, and a couple of other guys doing, a lot of other people doing chorus, and a lot of other people doing little quick sit-ins and an orchestra. But the album itself, this is my point. The album itself, the quality of it is really, really good, And Ozzy did, he did Black Sabbath 13, and that was great. And, this is basically him going in the studio and saying, hey, I can't tour that well right now, but here are these 2 guys coming at me and saying, hey, Ozzy, we wrote some music. We'd love you to do some songs too. And he listened and he looked at him and he said, this is great. I like this very much. And they just banged out the whole album. And now he's so inspired. He's going back into the studio to do another album. He's going right now. No break. He's going in to do a second album, a follow-up to this, because he's working so well with these people. And you know what? If they turn out a second effort like Ordinary Man, I'm going to be thrilled because it's Ozzy. Who doesn't love Ozzy?
I don't know. That's cool though. That's great for Ozzy fans to get a brand new album and then to hear that he's going in to do another one.
Yeah, and again, understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that it's as good as the 2 albums with Randy. I'm not saying it's as good as the 2 albums with Jake. I'm not saying it's as good as No More Tears. I'm basically saying that for what Ozzy's been doing currently, it's not an album that has like, two songs I'm like into, and then the rest I'm into a lot of filler. I really like a lot of the new album. Just, as songs, I just think there's a lot more that's catching in my head. Not every song is perfect. Not every song is exactly what I want. There's not as many guitar-driven songs as there were like in those first few albums that are ingrained in my head. Obviously, Randy was driving that crazy train, and Jake was helping him bark at the moon. And I get it. But without a guitar hero in the mix, and nothing against the guitars that are on there. And of course, I know Slash helps on 2 tracks. But without like an album based and rooted in a guitar hero like a Randy Rhoads or a Jakey Lee, I'm just saying that for Ozzy, for his vocals, for the songs that are written, I'm enjoying it. I see Fruitcake Tony, you're not happy about it. And again, Zakk Wylde, another guitar hero, I get it. But these are getting a lot of airplay, and there's a lot of melodic songs in there that I'm just enjoying hearing Ozzy's voice. It's different. It's closer to the more recent albums with, I think, just a little bit better. And again, yeah, Gus G, Music Therapy Labs brings up Gus G. Yeah, he's good. But I'm just saying this one isn't driven by a guitar hero. It's driven by Ozzy's melodic voice. That's what this album is really rooted in. And again, would I rather have another album with Jakey Lee on a personal note? Yeah, that's more my style. But from this effort, I'm very happy to see Ozzy if he's stopping touring in the studio and banging out an album that I'm still happy to listen to in the car. You know? And again, just my own opinion. Mr. Light 1972 says, you're right. It's a different approach. It's a different approach than Ozzy usually does. You know?
Right.
And not everyone's going to like it. Fruitcake Tony, not a fan. I got you, bro. And I know why. I get it. But, you know, it's the vocals. That's what's giving you this album, is all the vocals that he's working with. And, you know, look, I love his vocals. I love his voice. I think at 71, he's in really fine form. And I'd love to see him and Jakey Lee do another round. But you know, and I know it ain't going to happen, because Sharon's going to go, oh, I can't wait to see you with Jake again. We never had to pay him. You know, but Jake's going to say, yeah, this time I kind of want to get paid, Sharon. Oh, don't be silly. Come on, you're singing with Ozzy. Where'd he go? You know, I know what's going to happen. And look, Zach's got his own thing right now. And, you know, it's a different rooting for Ozzy. But I like Under the Graveyard. It reminds me a little bit of older Sabbath, is what this album reminds me of, you know? I mean, that's, have you heard the whole thing, Johnny, or?
No, I'm going to have to listen to it. I'm going to have to do that. I'll do that tonight. I'll definitely do that tonight. Because, yeah, I'm a fan of a lot of these guys that are on here. I mean, I love
it's different. You got to be prepared that it's a different type of Ozzy album. It's more toward older Sabbath. It's more toward, you know, Bozique brings up the Beatles. Ozzy's a massive, massive Paul McCartney and Beatles fan. This is almost like Ozzy did his own Beatles album. It's not a Guitar Hero driven album, you know, but it's, in my opinion, and in a lot of critics' opinions, it's good. You know, I'd say, you know, how good? 7 out of 10, maybe. That's my own thought, something around there.
I'll check it out later tonight. I'll listen to Ned. Ned's here. Ned and I will listen to it later tonight, right, Ned?
Nice. Let's see. My favorite tracks, All My Life is probably my favorite track. Ordinary Man, I think, is terrific, and Under the Graveyard is very catchy. Scary Little Green Men is fun. It's almost something that like Frank Zappa would do, you know? Just kind of fun. And I like the Take What You Want with the Post Malone Travis Scott song. It's different, but, you know, think about different. Go back to like when Ozzy and Lita Ford did that duet, you know, very different for Ozzy Osbourne, right? Good stuff though. Take it, leave it. That's my thought.
That was a hit song, wasn't it? It was a single.
It was. And make no mistake, this album, I think, is like number 3 on the charts right now. So people are digging it. You know, again, someone like Fruitcake Tony, I'm not picking on you specifically, Tony, but I'm using it as the example, are a bit more purist to a lot of his classic stuff, as far as, you know, the Jake stuff, the Randy stuff. Right. And I get it. Believe me, I love that stuff. Some of my favorite albums. It's different though, you know? Yes, Halface says Scary Little Green Men sounds a bit like the No More Tears track. Yeah, it's reminiscent to that, you know? And Brian Brown says, Ozzy, I was done after the No More Tears album. To me, that was the last big, hot album for my own tastes that I really enjoyed. But this is different. You know, this is totally different. You know? Still Ozzy. It's more, I guess it's just more vocal based. Again, think of old Sabbath, you know?
Right. We have 100 watching. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and please leave a thumbs up if you're watching right now. Leave a thumbs up on the video or on whatever podcast you're listening to on it.
Yeah. And subscribe. And leave comments.
For those of you guys and girls that have heard the album, if you like it, let me know in the chat. If you dislike it, let me know in the chat. And if you do like it, I want to know your favorite tracks because I gave mine. And yeah, the chat brings up an interesting point. You lost me when I heard Post Malone was on the album. I get why, but still hard to take it as a true diehard rock fan. I get it. I listen, if you would have said, hey, Ozzy Osbourne's thinking of including Post Malone and Travis Scott on an album. Oh, and one is with Elton John. Now, again, you can look at it any way. Elton John's a legend in the music industry. I look at him sort of in a way as I do almost Billy Joel, who's a personal, hero of mine. Love Billy Joel, being a Long Islander native. But you have to respect that. With Post Malone, with Travis Scott, these are more trending on, exactly who's popular now and what's current. And not that I'm a big fan of what's quote unquote current, unless you're talking current metal, where you're talking like, bands like Heat or Crazy Licks or stuff like that. That's more my stuff. But I get the commercial aspect of it, that you want to get Ozzy on the radio, and that if that's the ticket that helps that album get pushed and I get to hear, 13 tracks of Ozzy again, I got to admit I'm in, Let's see. Looking into the chat, Brendan Buttcheeks, I love it. Ordinary Man and Scary Little Green Man are two faves. I like it. Bozique says it's okay. In his opinion, it's beyond the point in his career to be experimental. Now's the time for a nostalgia vibe. Needs to get an 80s style rock guitarist. Hey, listen, I'd love to see that. I think he's allowed to be a little experimental, though, at this point. Again, he's getting up there in years, and you don't know how his physical health is going to be. And obviously, God willing, if he's watching or any of his family's watching, how we feel about him on this show. We've talked about it. We love him. We wish him well. But at the same time, look, if you're a fan of the Beatles and you want to do something in that vein on a song, you're Ozzy Osbourne. You owe me nothing. We owe you something. I'm going to give you that freedom because I want to hear it. I want you to enjoy being in the music business and giving us a new album. I want you inspired to give us more new albums. Let's see. Brian Spalding says change is good for him to remain current. That's not even that much change, minus a lot of the guitar stuff. Chad says, I'll give you Elton John, but today's music overall is terrible. Bozique is not a fan of Post Malone. Jason Lee, another big fan of the new CD. A lot of you guys are getting this. I'm reading a lot of the chats. Jim Nicholas saw him on the Ultimate Sin tour. That was my favorite tour for Ozzy. I love that tour. I was there live and love that tour. That's my one of my personal favorite albums. Very close to me, near and dear. Let's see. With a lot of this material pre-existing, fair to say that with his age and health, maybe his last record? I don't think so, Tony, because, again, he's going right now into the studio making a follow-up. And it's hard to tell with Ozzy when he's healthy or not, because even, the healthiest conversation is, oh, hey, Ozzy's in tip-top health. Oh, he is. Where is he? I just want to say, I remember I was coming down the road, there was a call coming. I was like, look out. It's like, you can't make him out, but you got to love the guy. That's just Ozzy, That's just the way he is. He's been befuddled, like, since his 20s, So, hey, Absolute Man. Let's
Hey,
see.
man.
The chat makes a good point. It is all opinion. We all listen to a lot of rock. Let's see.
I listen to a lot of everything.
Yeah, I mean Johnny listens to the worst music out there too. I saw he was loading the new NSYNC CD into his hopper.
Yeah. Hey, Rosie. Hey, Rosie. Good to see you.
Hey, Rosie. How are you? Dog PA. I want to see the Blackmore Ozzy Townsend tour. Yeah. Hey, man. I'm all about it.
Yeah. I mean, I just got to say, if fans, let's just, we're talking about Ozzy Osbourne fans, they to get, so much music from this guy for so many years, and to get new music from him, I would think no matter what it is, he's earned the right to do whatever he wants to do, and the true fans are the ones that are gonna love it, no matter what it is, because they by this point they should know what to expect, from him. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Original Power Mutant brings up an interesting point. He says, I'd say this album is very similar to Frank Sinatra's Duets album, which helped introduce Sinatra to a new audience. Now, that's an interesting point, because here, I'm sure, I agree with you. I'm sure a lot of people that never listened to Ozzy Osbourne, some that probably didn't know even who he was, are probably listening to a lot of these tracks that are getting airplay. And, you look at someone like Billie Eilish, who didn't know who Eddie Van Halen is. She probably didn't know who Ozzy Osbourne is, but she's probably listening to the radio right now and saying, who's this guy? That's kind of cool. So, yeah, I could see introducing Ozzy to a whole new audience and still giving his audience, even if you consider it a lukewarm Ozzy album, I'd rather have a lukewarm Ozzy album than no Ozzy material new. And I'm enjoying the album. Like I said, am I enjoying it? Am I stacking up Ordinary Man against Bark at the Moon? I'm not. I'm going to like Bark at the Moon better. I just like the guitar-driven albums better. But I'll put this in the middle of the pack of the 12 or so studio albums he's done. I like it better than some of the, the last few years albums he's done. And I like it. I don't like it quite as much as his early stuff, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I think as long as people enjoy it, and it brings, it's like us being live on Periscope right now. Ozzy making a record with Post Malone, it brings a whole new audience into it. No,
this is the point. I'm just looking. Someone just wrote it. Music Therapy Laz brought up. He says the new Ozzy album is too studio sounding, and it is very studio sounding. I'll admit that. And he says his favorite is Ordinary Man, although Under the Graveyard is a close second. It is kind of a Sabbath thing. And I said that when I heard Under the Graveyard, you could imagine that being on like the first Sabbath album. I mean, that's that style of it. That's just what he's doing. Jack the Rabbit in the house. How are you, man?
Hey, dude.
And my brother, Jack the Off, is over there. Oh. I left him in the shower earlier.
Oh, gosh.
Jim Nicholas brought up a good point. Working with a young hip producer can expand the audience, same as Johnny Cash did with Rick Rubin. Another good point. Let's see. Right. Brent Rosem, I love you, man. When is some Hollywood executive going to wake up and put you on your own Man on the Street show? I would kill for that stuff. Not as bad as I would kill for that stuff, because I want a good paycheck. So, yeah, listen, if you know any good executives, please send them my way. And hopefully they don't have any attractive daughters that'll be like, and hopefully, yeah, no, look, I love doing live broadcasts. I enjoy that stuff. Scripted is what I'm used to, but I'm here every week on the air, so I'll do that stuff. Happy to. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Johnny and I were live on the street walking down Hollywood. Johnny was a little shy with the camera, though. Anytime I cornered someone for some fun, Johnny's like, "Oh, we're gonna get sued. I better turn this way."
Oh, dude, I was not feeling good. I could barely think that day. It was terrible.
Well, we were both sick.
Yeah, that was bad, man. That was bad. But no, doing the down the street thing, that was a lot of fun because I told you, I watch a lot of that stuff. It's like I knew like the entire street we were on. I recognized every couple, stores. I'm like, oh yeah, that place,
Let's see. Brent and Ross, it's Tom Har. Hi, new job, check social media. Oh, cool, man. Very cool. Linny Lou says, I'm so funny on the fly. Yeah, especially when I'm on my knees unzipping one. Thank you. Bozique said, man, could if you got super famous, you get me too'd real fast. I'm respectful of women. I mean, look, if you know what I'm about, I'm a big supporter of, of women's rights, blah, blah, blah. I wear pink as breast cancer awareness. You get it. I mean, it's comedy. In comedy, you're allowed to stretch certain borders. So I wouldn't cross the wrong lines. Trust me. I know my place on a set. All kidding aside. Fruitcake Tony wants to know, am I going to catch the Motley tour? Here's the problem with the stadium tour. And when it was announced, and we're talking Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett, when it was announced the first time, I'm all excited. I'm all kinds of happy. Bottle rockets are shooting out of my ass and I'm jizzing confetti. The problem is, and I'm seeing these tickets go on sale. I'm like, yeah, I'll get a set. And then I'm looking at the prices and it's like nosebleed seats, $850. Huh.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, yeah. And so where I want to sit, like up in front, thousands of dollars. I'm like, wait a minute. Are they gonna like die on stage or something? Is it gonna be something really spectacular? Like, like Alice Cooper goes in a guillotine and really cuts his head off, like just as an opener. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where these prices are coming from because I want to go. I do. I'm into all these bands. Joan Jett, interesting choice for an opener, and she's great. Not my personal choice for who I would have picked for an opener. I would have probably picked like maybe Winger or something, or Great White, something like that. XYZ perhaps. But with that said, she puts on a good show, and the other three, solid. I'm a big Poison fan, big Crue fan, big Def Leppard fan. I expect it to be a absolutely fan-fucking-tastic show. With that said, I don't want to spend a couple of G's on one show. Johnny, back me up on this.
Rosie, good to see you. Good to see you, Rosie. I'm looking at tickets for Oracle Park in San Francisco for this. The seats all the way in the back. Well, what's available anyway? In the 300 row. Well, this is a baseball park. The ones all the way in the back, it's $100.
Good seeing you, Rosie.
Take care.
Sorry, Johnny.
See you, Rosie. Yeah, the cheapest ticket is $100, and you're way. You're watching them on a screen. You're not actually watching them on the stage because you're too far back to see them.
And what are these? What are you seeing up front in good stadiums?
Let's see. Let me scroll all the way down. Actually, well, here's the stage. So the closest. As far as seats, wait, are these seats? No, that's a stage.
That's the drum kit, Johnny.
Oh wait, these are seats. Okay. Oh, field. Okay, so there's field tickets. So I guess those for just standing. I'm looking at about $600.
That's even lower than I've seen. What show is that?
This is San Francisco,
San Francisco.
which is
Hey!
which is outside. So that's a rain or shine. But like, what's let's
Look
go.
at like Petco Park in San Diego. I'm curious.
Let's see.
I don't want to see nosebleed seats. I could watch that on YouTube.
Yeah. Show more. When are they?
Like June, July, something. July something.
I see Inglewood. I see Inglewood. Okay, let's skip that.
Fruitcake Tony says, thanks to Motley Crue's final tour, he got some picks from there that were worth a lot at the time. Now that they're back, he can't pick his teeth with them.
Okay, so as far as what's available in Inglewood, like right up in front of the stage, you're looking at oh, here we go. Are you kidding? Holy crap. Floor A3, row 1 and 2. $4,333.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the ticket you got?
That's the ticket I'm not gonna get. I'm not
We're going
$4,000 on a seat. For if I drop $4,000 on a seat, Joan Jett better be blowing me while fucking CeCe better hand me his guitar. Mick Mars better like sacrifice himself to Satan right in front of me, and Def Leppard better be pouring sugar all over his wife in front of me.
Oh my goodness!
Come on,
no,
$4,000 for one fucking seat. No,
that's not even a seat. That's you're standing.
That's not even a seat. It's a vacation. That's a vacation.
Over $4,000.
Okay, in the chat, what is the most you would pay for a front row ticket to the stadium tour? Def Leppard, Poison, Motley Crue, and Joan Jett. What would you pay? The most you would pay? Let's see if I'm crazy here, more than we know I am. What would you pay for a front row ticket? And keep in mind, if you go alone, now you're just like going alone at a concert. If you take a date, you're telling me 8 G's if I take a date? What are you kidding? It's a fucking used car. Bunch of guitars. All right, here they come. $200, $200, 100. Halface will only go $13.85. So I guess you're sneaking in. Fruitcake Tony, $300. $100, $175. Bo Zeke says, if I was more economically solvent, $1,000. Yeah, look, if I was a billionaire, I'd pay the $4,000, but I'm not, so I won't. But let's just go into reality right now. $250. Big Fly Music says, I need a prenup to take a date to that show.
Wait a minute.
Oh, here it comes.
Oh, to get a suite. Okay. You can get a suite.
Sweet. With Joan Jett?
You can get a suite. One ticket for a suite. 5E row GA. Where is this suite? How far back is it? Anyway, you can get a suite for $9,242.
Yeah, row GA stands for gangbang my ass.
Over $9,000 for
what?
And you're watching them on a television screen.
For $9,000, I better be on the private plane to the next location.
You're not even watching them because you've seen the suites. They're way up above. And even though they're up there with popcorn and partying and whatever, they're not any closer. You're closer down in the seats than you are in a suite.
I can watch it at home for that.
Why would you even go?
9 G's, Johnny? 9?
Over 9 G's. Not 9 92.42 each.
Jesus Christ. 92.42 per person.
Yeah. Wait, one ticket. Yeah.
So you take a date, that's almost 20 G's. Oh my God. Why would you get a suite unless you're like 900 years old and you're like, oh, I don't want to be with those crowds of unwashed masses. I don't want to be there. I'll get a suite where I could see on the screen, there's the band.
Mhm.
Holy shit. What do you go to a concert for?
Yeah. Or you can get there's another suite for 7,394.
Dude, if I'm paying almost $10,000 a person, I better be picked up at my house in the Batmobile.
5, 6, 7. So you can either get a floor ticket in the first row for $4,333 or a suite for $9,242.
I'm not, Jesus Christ.
But for the suite, is there a toilet in the suite?
A toilet? There better be a butler ready to wipe my ass with his tongue. Dude, and that butler better be Joan Jett.
So, if there's
hot towel, Mr. Mancuda. Canapé, Mr. Mancuda. Champagne, Mr. Mancuda. Le Bang Energy drink, Mr. Mancuda.
9,000.
9,000 plus to sit in a fucking box a million miles away from seeing the show. You're sitting there with old lady binoculars, like in the Victorian era, pulling them out. Oh, I do believe those specs are Motley Crue. What are you kidding?
Well, at least you get your own toilet up there.
My own toilet. I better be able to shit in Vince Neil's mouth for $10,000.
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap. Condom, Mr. Mancuda, for you getting fucked. Would you like me to bring up your sheep and Velcro gloves, sir? Holy shit.
Does that include parking?
Per person. Oh my God.
Is that how that works? If you get a suite, is it poor, you'll be the poor person after you get that ticket. Is it $9,000 per person, or you buy the ticket and you can take a few people with you?
If it's per person, if it's 10 grand per person into a suite, not only are you cheating yourself out of money.
It says one ticket.
Show.
One ticket.
I better have a human footrest. Some guy coming over with a hunchback. Master, may I get under your legs and comfort you? What in the world could you possibly get? Does it come with the VIP T-shirt? Do you get a pick? What in the world? Why?
Oh yeah, that doesn't include the tour of the stage or any of that stuff.
Dude, the tour of the stage. They better build the stage in my backyard when they're done with it. I better get a piece of the arena. I better get stock options on the tour. Come on.
You better get a tote bag, for the hey Brian, hey dude.
Yeah, I better get a tote bag. It better come with 20 years of Mick Mars guitar lessons in the bag.
Yeah, you'd think you'd get a tote bag and a glass of water.
Tote bag. That tote bag better have 9,500 back of my money in. What are you kidding me? 10 G's a person. Holy shit.
Brian, good to see you, dude. Brian Spalding. Dude.
Hey, Brian.
Dude.
Yeah, Brian, we're not talking $4,000 a seat. We're talking almost 10 grand a seat per person. Come on.
Well, that's in Inglewood. Let's see. Let's
Dude, I could buy Inglewood for that much money.
Let's go to Iowa and see what their here, let's get out of here. And that's in Inglewood too, man.
Yeah, I better be able to dump one load in CeCe's hair for that much money. Jesus Christ. I mean, does that come with like I can't even think. Does it come with a side of beef to serve? I mean, what else? What could you possibly get for your money for 10 grand a seat? I mean, shit, for 30 grand, I can meet the Rolling Stones. So, that's a good 10 minutes well spent.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for 10 grand, you better have the Rolling Stones up there watching the show with you.
Yeah, right. No, we talked about this on the show. Rolling Stones, 29,000 and change for a quick meet and greet with the Stones. Yeah, the Amazing Drop asks, what kind of family show is this? A family from West Virginia. My cousin gives the best head. Not that I know. I'd never cheat on my mama. Yeah, no, come on. I mean, there's reasonable and there's crazy, and then there's 10 grand a seat.
Well, it's not just a seat; it's a box, so you can stand up and walk around.
The Joan Jett's box isn't worth 10 grand.
You don't have to sit there. You can walk around. You got your own bathroom.
Dude, my own bathroom better be a human on their back awaiting with a hungry mouth. Shit in my mouth. It's okay. You paid the money.
Oh my gosh.
Holy hell. Wipe your ass with my sleeve.
Well, I guess you could do anything up there in that box.
God.
I don't know. I'd never gotten this sweet.
You can't even see the show. They could be sweeping the stage and you're thinking it's poison. Looks good to me down there. Someone's on stage. I don't hear nothing. Turn on the TV.
Uh-huh. Oh, I've been to concerts at like Oakland Arena and stuff, and I've looked up, at those boxes, or whatever, the suites.
And laughed.
And you see the people up there standing there, and you see get TV sets with like ball games on and stuff up there.
So they're not even watching the show.
They're not even watching
the concert. You can't see it.
They're watching a game from somewhere else.
Yeah, they're not even there for the show. They're like, that's the pilot of the tour plane, and he's got nothing better to do. He's like, oh, I don't want to see this fucking show again. Jesus. Seen it like 100 times already. I just, who are the Yankees playing? Let me see.
Yeah. No, those guys are asleep. Those guys are sleeping. A lot of those roadies, they spend all day. Well, not all day. They start at 4 a.m. building the stage, and then by noon, they do sound check, and then those guys they go to bed, and they sleep during the show. Like those drivers, they sleep during the concert. And
they're the hardest working guys in show business. You kidding?
Mm-hmm.
These guys are really working. They're doing all the backbreaking stuff. But holy crap. Who in the world wants to? If you said for $100 I could be in that box, I'd say, why? That's the worst fucking seat in the house. Why would I want to be there?
Well, I mean, I'd be up there for the bathroom, myself, but.
Yeah, listen, before the show, I'm happy to run up there, take a shit, laugh, and run down back to my seat in the front few rows. I'll do that now. Not paying for it.
Let's see.
Actually, you're correct. Groupies are actually the hardest working people in show business. You're right. I'm sorry. Support your local groupie. I forgot about that. Thank you.
Let's see. The stage is right there.
By the way, please leave a thumbs up on the video if whether you like it or not. That's okay. Yeah, if you like the video, please leave a thumbs up. If you don't, leave a thumbs up. And yeah, coming up, I have a really cool show and tell vintage Super Strat that's coming up. We're on a roll here though with this ticket prices for the stadium tour topics. Fruitcake Tony brings up a good point. The band crew members don't work hard. I mean, I think they do, but a very good point. The local union crew guys are the slaves. Yeah. Hey, listen, shout out and tip of the iceberg hat to the guys in the unions, because those guys really are doing the lifting. So, but come on.
Yeah.
Hugh Caldwell asks, have you heard anything from the Count missing in action lately? Do you mean Count Von Count from Sesame Street? I just bought my stadium tour tickets. One fist in my ass. Two fists up my ass. Three wonderful fists up my ass for $10,000 seats. Is that the Count you were talking about? Count Von Count from Sesame Street? I just totaled everyone's childhood, by the way, so please forgive me. I'm very good at destroying childhood innocence.
Oh, man.
Jeez. Stadium tour. Anyway, so let's talk about today's show and tell guitar. I got a very cool show and tell guitar for the day. For those of you guys that know me and those that don't, I'm a big fan of certain brands. I love old BC Rich. I love old Charvel, Jackson, Kramer, old ESPs, old Ibanez. I love all that stuff. That's why I'm here on a show called Talking Guitars and 80s Metal, because to me, the 80s was some of the best stuff ever made. And again, I know what you're saying. Oh, yeah, John, a 59 Les Paul. Terrific stuff, but I'm not dropping $250,000 on something from the 50s that is still very cool. But to me, for my childhood, the 80s guitars were incredible. And one of the best made and original Super Strat guitars, because today is Super Tuesday, was made by Charvel. Wayne Charvel started a company where he basically took Stratocasters like Fenders and hot rodded them. He was noticing a change in the musical genre, and people were bringing him. They liked the Strat bodies, and look, Eddie Van Halen. He looked at the guitar and said, "Hey, I love the feel of a Strat, but I want a humbucker to sound like a Les Paul, and I want a whammy bar. What can I do with this?" And lo and behold, there's a Super Strat born. So,
yeah, that's right.
Wayne Charvel basically said, hey, a lot of people want stuff like this. I'm going to start building these. So he took basically boogie bodies and his own bodies and started putting them together with very fast necks, with wide flat necks, very fast action, hot humbuckers, and crazy graphics. And Charvel basically became one of the bigger companies of the late 70s, early 80s that also grew into Jackson and really found its footing when Grover Jackson took over the company from Wayne Charvel. Grover was an employee of Wayne's and basically saw the writing on the wall of music of this style getting hot and these guitars being more and more in demand and stuff. And in a way, he kind of did a little trickery of basically saying to Wayne, Wayne would come in the office and he's, hey Grover, how's business? And Grover would go, I think we're losing a bit of money. Losing money, are we? Yeah. He'd hold back orders. And eventually Wayne started getting cold feet and saying, maybe I'm in the wrong business. And Grover Jackson said, you know what, Wayne, I got an idea. I'm willing to go in with you as a partner. You know what? I'll even buy you out if you really want out. And he's like, yeah, you know what? I think I want that. And Grover Jackson, smartest kid in the room, basically bought Charvel and, made it Charvel and Jackson when Randy Rhoads came along. And during these Charvel years, these early years in San Dimas, they were hand making such exquisite, well-built, handcrafted guitars. We're talking hand-carved. We're talking old-school craftsmen just putting together these really fast neck, whammy barred, powerful guitars with crazy graphics on them. And before they became serial numbered, right around 1980, they were called prepros, standing for pre-production. So no serial numbers on them. And at this point, they were making some incredible guitars. And today's guitar is one of those pre-production guitars, a San Dimas Charvel Pre-Pro. Johnny? Look at that thing. Ooh, baby. What do we got here?
Look at that.
Let's start off with a Fender headstock. A few years later, Fender caught wind that Charvel was building these necks and issued a cease and desist. And they had to go to a pointy headstock about 1980, probably about 83-ish. They had to shift these to a pointy headstock. So very few of these later on had Strat headstocks. Body, classic Stratocaster body. And look at this bridge. This is an old school, what's called a keyhole bridge. Okay. Whammy bar goes right here. And you got a big chunky rest for your palm. And look at that pickup. That's an old school X2N. That's a very, very, very hot pickup. I think it's probably about like 17 on the ohm scale, if I remember right. Could be off by a point, but it was very, very hot pickup. And they had usually brass hardware. This particular one happens to be like a nickel or maybe it's coated brass, but heavy stuff. Charvel always had like the same thing. This also very, very quality hardware. And look at that graphic. Holy shit. You are buying me stadium tour tickets. You're buying me stadium tour tickets. Leave a thumbs up. Leave a thumbs up.
We want a suite at the show.
You're about to enter a dimension of mind, of sound. You're about to enter the Mancuda zone. Yeah. So there you go. Look at this thing. This thing and the fast neck on this thing. Maple neck, skunk stripe. This is one of the distinguishing marks of an old school Charvel neck. You got a skunk stripe going up the back. Old school crown head tuners. These were standard back then. Look at those bad boys.
Nesdal just drooled. He's not even here.
The Charvel logo. Nesdal just got like a little itch in his pants and he doesn't know why. Look at that bad boy. Yeah, and Jim Nicholas, I was explaining, yes, this is the original volume knob. Most of them were brass. And again, I think this may be, I'm not sure if it's if it was colored brass, but I guess not. Because when they did black hardware or chrome, they usually did a silver metal, maybe nickel, or I'm not sure exactly it's not really stainless, I don't think. And they, this was, I believe, originally had some black coating on it. If you look on the bridge, you can still see some remnants of it. But yeah, most old school Charvel was brass. Now, I know this is original because this was one of the earliest ones built for the factory dealer book. Back in the day, Wayne Charvel and Grover Jackson went around to dealers with Polaroids of stuff that they made in the custom shop to show exactly, hey, we're Charvel, here's what we build, here's some samples of guitars you can buy. This guitar, there were 2 photos of it in the original promotional dealer book. And you could see it has the original hardware and original pickup, and this was originally silver, this was originally black, which you could see a lot of it's worn off. You could still see it on the underside of it, of the strap button. And on the top, it's still silver. but it was black at one point. It just wore off from years and years of love. You can see this was clearly someone's pinky mark from a lot of playing. But these were durable as fuck. And these are workhorses. These are some of, in my opinion, the best guitars ever made. And this plate was originally black. Originally, again, a pre-pro plate, no serial number. And you can see right there, for those of you that have video, apologies if you're watching or listening on a podcast, but it's a black metal plate where most of the black is rubbed off. And now it's just the steel. So that's all from just hand wear and play. You can see there's some worming on the back. If you look against the light, you can see some buckle rash. Not enough to break the paint, but a little bit of worming there. So somebody loved this to death besides me. And look how toned the back of the neck is. Dirty maple is the sexiest thing on earth to me. I love it. And the more you play it, the smoother and faster it gets. Ah! Yeah. And look at the slab of rosewood on here. And this was when they had really good rosewood. Look how thick that chunk of rosewood is on the board. Just beautiful. And the inlays were at that time, they were either they were usually clay. A lot of the side dots were brass. Not this particular one. This particular one's black, but they use brass side dots a lot. And the nut is that material used to make computer boards. I forgot what it's called exactly.
Computer boards?
Yeah, the computer material. You know, the computer boards. That material of plastic. Hey, nothing like a little thick wood, huh? Now, again, a lot of times, pre-production Charvels, they made about 700 of them before they started with serial numbers. They started at first using a 5-digit serial number plate on the back, and then they reduced it to a 4-digit serial number on the back until 1986, when they stopped USA production. But these pre-pros, there's a lot of fakes out there. A lot of people have strats and they're like, oh, it's a Charvel pre-production. There's a lot of ways to tell. There's certain codes in the neck pocket and at the heel of the neck. And again, the skunk stripe is a little clue for you. Over the years, you know what to look for. Some of the electronics, some of the way the cavities are painted. There's a lot of things to look for. Different cavity shapes, like the early boogie body ones had kind of a real narrow, like George Lynch's Booger or 80's had that early narrow little cavity at the bottom. You know what I'm talking about, Johnny? Shape of the cavity. So there's a lot of clues to tell the real from the fakes. Yeah, Jim Nicholas brings up a good point. The width of these 12th fret center dots is a certain distance. They're very close on this. A lot of other guitars, they're more spread apart. That's a signature telltale sign of a real San Dimas Charvel. And again, over the years, it gets to be a feel. You know, you just kind of know what to look for. You know how it feels. There's a lot of little telltales, but Metal Soda, you missed it. It's an X2N, DiMarzio X2N. Very hot pickup. Very, very cool. Great pickup too. And thank you, James Severin. Circuit board material is what I was thinking of mentioning.
Yeah.
The playability on these things, and this is why a lot of artists right out of the gate played these things. Lynch had a few. Warren DeMartini. Most of his guitars are old school San Dimas Charvels. I mean, just artist after artist after artist. A lot of guys played these. CC DeVille has one. Tracy Guns had one. There's just a lot of these out there. These were favorites, and they're workhorses, and they sound and play fucking terrific. So there you go, boys and girls. Today's show and tell guitar 1980 San Dimas Pre-Pro Charvel with a black Hypno swirl graphic, maple neck, rosewood board. Good times.
Thumbnail.
There it is. Got to pose for that thumbnail, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I told you, you know, to get the actual thumbnail, we should, you know, it'd give away the surprise, but you know, to actually do it right, we'd have to do the thumbnails first.
I want people to see the thumbnail because, you know, I like them to look and say, hey, you know, somewhere in the middle of the show, I'm going to check out that San Dimas Charvel. And these are so cool. You know, I mean, these are along with early BC Rich, these are my personal favorite guitars to play. Some of them are just so broken in and so comfortable. They're really just terrific fucking guitars. And I love sharing it with you guys because, you know, look, I just want everyone to enjoy each other's collections. This is a hobby about sharing and showing each other stuff and sharing knowledge and just enjoying what guitar, you know, camaraderie is about. It's a fun instrument to learn, fun instrument to play. I'm sure a lot of you out there are way better players than me. I know Johnny is. And, you know, I'm sure I'm better than some people, like small children. But either way, you know, I just want to share with everyone so we can all enjoy this really cool hobby. You know, that's what music's about, man. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when I was at your place and I was playing some of those, yeah, they're real nice. Those necks are great.
Let's see. Jim Nicholas asks, how much would this have been in 1980? I want to say probably like in the maybe 1,200 range at the time. I'm trying to figure. I mean, I wasn't buying in 1980. I was just a sperm, but you know, I know now they're, you know, thousands of dollars, and they're just great players. They're fun. They're really a good feeling guitar. Is that the Grey's Anatomy theme? What is that?
It's like 3 different devices going off at once.
The vibrator, the anal plug, the self-sucking fleshlight, and the Grey's Anatomy theme. Right now, someone's calling. I'll take that guitar you have on your show. Like it's like it's the Home Shopping Network. We've got only 300 more of these pre-pro San Dimas Charvel guitars ready to go. Only 300. What's that? We're down to 240 of these San Dimas Charvel pre-pro guitars. Wouldn't these make great gifts? Wouldn't you love to find one of these guitars under your Christmas tree or Hanukkah bush? Oh my God, would this make your Kwanzaa something spectacular? And think, Valentine's Day, oh my God, do you want to get laid? This will do it. Let's see, we have 210 left of these beautiful San Dimas Charvel Super Strat Pre-Pro guitars. And look, that's a real X2N guitar. That's a real X2N guitar pickup in there. This is not a fake. This is not a reproduction. This is a real X2N pickup. How often do you find X2N pickups in today's guitars? I'll bet you don't. We are at 190 left of these beautiful San Dimas Charvel pre-pro guitars. And Johnny, have you ever seen a neck like this? How often do you find a skunk stripe on a broken in neck like this today? And if you call now, we're going to throw in, get ready, Johnny. A Swiss pick guitar pick. We're going to throw one of these in right now. If you buy one of the last, how many we have? 178 left of these beautiful San Dimas Charvel pre-pro guitars. We'll throw in a neon green Swiss pick, very 80s style, perfect to play your 80s guitar. We're going to throw that in right now for the next, how many do we have? 80 orders. The next 80 people that call will get a Swiss pick. You want to get in on this deal because Swiss picks are so terrific. And they have a grip. Look at that. Look at that. You can hold this pick and it will not slip. Look, it's not slipping right now. I'm trying to get it off my hand. Look at it. Look. See? See? Yeah. What a grip on these. And we're throwing that in as a bonus for the next 80 people that buy one of these beautiful Charvel San Dimas pre-pro guitars. Last week's promotion, when we had a Jackson Rhodes, those 800 Rhodes flew out when we threw in the Johnny Beane Fleshlight as a throw-in and a chamois to clean up the jizz. We threw those in and they went out like that. What are we down to? 141 left of these beautiful Charvel San Dimas pre-pro guitars. And when your son or daughter love to find one of these guitars under the tree, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be great for a birthday gift for your son or daughter? Bring them the gift of musical inspiration. So much better. You were going to get them an accordion. I know you were going to get that because polka's making a comeback, but kids aren't into it. Kids just aren't into it. So here it is right here. Beautiful, absolutely made in America in San Dimas, California in 1980. A beautiful San Dimas Charvel pre-pro guitar, super strat. And just look at that. That's real metal. Do you hear that? Here, hold on. I'm going to do that just so you hear it from my... Do you hear that? You hear that?
That's the real thing.
That's real metal. That's not pop metal. That's real metal. We actually only now have 84 of the unbroken, beautiful San Dimas Charvel guitars.
That was the guy falling off the ladder.
Yeah,
remember that one?
Those guitars cushioned him. And isn't that nice to know? They're safe for use. Now, this is an electric guitar, but your children won't get harmed if they use this because plugging it in, you won't get harmed with this. This is very safe. You can use a real guitar cord. It doesn't take the plastic ones. It takes a real rubber guitar cord with a real metal tip, and it goes right in here. I know this is a family-friendly show, but you can insert it right in here. So we're going to keep that very clean. And that's where it goes. And you plug it in. Oh, there it is. That's our sound. And wait, what am I informed? We have how many? 47 Swiss pick guitar picks left that we're going to throw in. And how many guitars do we have left? 79. We are down to 70. These are flying off the shelves. The 80s are coming back. And I'm not talking Debbie Gibson. We are talking heavy metal. Heavy metal. How do you do that? How do you do that thing? Is it like this? Is it like this? Heavy metal? This one? No? This one. This? Rock on. See, that's heavy metal. This is right here at Home Shopping Network. You can get your metal on. You can get your metal on. And we have right now 68 of these beautiful guitars. Now, wait, hold on. I'm being informed. What are we down to? We have two Swiss picks left. You need this one? Oh, that's it. We are out of the Swiss picks, but we still have 57 beautiful San Dimas pre-pro Charvel guitars left. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Look at it. You can, oh my gosh. I'm getting dizzy. I'm getting hypnotized. Metal. Look at that. Oh, Satan's your master. Look at that. No, I didn't really say that. No, that was a mistake. I'm sorry. What? How many do we have? We have 49. These are flying off the shelves like hotcakes. Do you like hotcakes? Syrup, butter. Look at that. Get your metal on for breakfast. Hotcakes and bacon, metal. You could probably even serve food on here. You could have one of those chicken donut sandwiches here while you're rocking along. Oh, isn't that exciting? Could you imagine your little one's face Christmas morning when you give him the devil sign and he says, fuck you, mom, rock on, I'm going to do drugs. Wouldn't that be great to give your child the gift of heavy metal? Of 80s heavy metal? Wouldn't that be great? Oh my God. Satan It's the material you have on your couch. What do we have now? 38 left of these beautiful handmade San Dimas Charvel guitars. Oh my God. Wayne Charvel sure wishes he kept his company now, doesn't he? Grover Jackson looks like a genius. He really is. This is so wonderful. You can imagine playing all sorts of songs on this guitar. You could play country, you could play jazz, you could play classic rock, you could play devil's metal, heavy metal. You could do that. Oh my God. It plays all of it. Look, just wait. Did you hear that? That's music coming out. Hold on. Let me put it up. Oh my God. It's like I'm a real musician. We only have so many of these. What are we down to? 28. We only have, here on Home Shopping Network, we only have 28 more of these beautiful original San Dimas Charvel Strat guitars. This is a super Strat, by the way. For those of you people that don't know the difference of a Strat and a super Strat, this is the deluxe version. This is a super Strat. And I know for those that like superheroes, this is the superhero of the music world because it's a Stratocaster, but unlike a regular Strat, it's super because look at that. Look at that. That is an X2N pickup. Do you see that? That is an X2N pickup. It's so loud. It's so loud. Even without, you can hear it. Do you hear how loud that is? Even without it turned on. Oh my God. We are down. How many do we have? 15 left. We are 15. You better get to your phones now. I understand you're in confession right now. You're preaching all your sins. Get out of there. Get out of there. You can rack up more sins backstage at your own show when you're a heavy metal artist. This is exactly what you want right here. This will make you a rock star. If you buy this right now, you will be a rock star right out of the gate. You will walk on stage with this guitar and people will go, oh my God, that must be a rock star. Because who else has a guitar like that? Rock stars have guitars like that. Here it is. This is your chance. You've always wanted to live the dream. You're not going to be an astronaut. You're not. I'm sorry. The dream is dead. Live the real dream. And oh my God, do you want vaginas? You will get vaginas with this guitar. What do we have left? 11. We're done. Now 10. Here's the countdown. 10 more of these. 10 more of these. If you like vagina, you don't even have to play more than this. Look. Oh my God. Did I just get laid? It sure feels like I just got laid. This is an instant heavy metal classic. You are getting right now this guitar with a case. You get all 6 strings on it. They're all included. These are real metal strings. You could put a magnet to them and they will stick. That's so amazing. You can tune it. If you tune it a certain way, it will actually sound really, really good. You can even drop D and they can drop down on their knees and get your D. We have 6 left. 6 of these. Last chance to be a rock star on QVC Home Shopping Network. This is your last chance. If you want this guitar, you want Satan to love you. Do you really want to reserve your place in hell more than things you've already done? This will assure you you can sell your soul to rock and roll and jam the neck in your hole. This is exactly what you want because, oh my God, rock and roll is here to stay. It's played every day. No more New Kids on the Block. This is not for you, although you probably could if you're really good at it. But we have last three for sale. Call now. We're almost out of these. Right now, we are down to, this is it. This is the very last one. I'm told this is the very last one, the one right in my hands. You could sell it probably for more because it's been on television. QVC Home Shopping Network. What? And that's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are sold out. No more San Dimas Charvel prepro guitars. We will try to bring some back next week. Right. Here's one, but that's not for sale. That's just our home shopping network display. That one's not for sale. That's it. So hopefully next week on Talking Guitars and 80s Metal live, you will be able to get one for yourself. That was a great deal. Great deal. Congratulations to all our viewers that bought out those and those wonderful Swiss picks. Congratulations. Okay. Coming up next.
Imagine if you actually had like 80 of those.
Yeah. Coming up next for you Satan worshippers, here's another Hard Rock Beauty travel guitar. We'll be back after these messages right here. What a great deal is coming up. Watch for this.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, I wasted everyone's time for another half hour. If you bought one of those guitars, please leave a thumbs up. And if you did not get a deal on one of those guitars, please at least leave a thumbs up. Showbang Energy Drink that they're worth sponsoring us.
There was more material. There was more there than there was when we were on for 9 hours that one time. I have no memory of that night.
There was no quality material there, but it was there. Yeah, thank you all for putting up with me. We really love our audience. Even if I waste a lot of your time, we really love our audience.
Those are good guitars, though.
They're great. They really are. All kidding aside, everybody. Sandima Charvels are some of my personal favorites. They're just great players. They feel good. They look cool. They're solid as rocks. They're just terrific. And like I said, I have a bunch that are favorites. Some of them are favorites in my collection. Like I really dig them. So let's see what else we got. Let's talk a little about some more music news. We were talking earlier about Ozzy Osbourne. Did you know, Johnny, who brought Randy Rhoads to Ozzy Osbourne after he left Black Sabbath?
I do now.
Because you heard me talking?
Because before we started, you read it.
Okay.
And I'm reading it now.
Chat. Let's go to the chat. I want to see.
Ask the chat. I'll be right back. Ask the chat.
Okay. We have probably the smartest audience I know of. Who brought Randy Rhoads to Ozzy Osbourne? I didn't know this. I didn't know this until this morning. I thought I'd share it with you guys and gals. Very cool. All right, let's looking at guesses in the chat. Fruitcake Tony guesses Rudy Sarzo. Wasn't Rudy. And yeah, Hugh Caldwell, Charvels have the best necks. Those were like the standard of the Super Strat necks. You got to realize that. Louis Rios guesses George Lynch. Wasn't George Lynch. Mark Dillon, you are on target, and California Home Builders right behind you. It was Dana Strum, the bass player of Slaughter. Before that, Vinnie Vincent Invasion and a few other things. But yeah, Dana Strum went to Ozzy and said, hey, you're looking for a guitarist. I've got a guy. And Ozzy recounts this recently. He says, Dana brings in this person. He's 100 pounds, tiny little guy, 100 pounds dripping wet. And he says, he looked like a girl. And he's like, hey, there's a cute little girl there. He's joking around. And then Randy plugs in, and Ozzy's just, I don't even know what to say. Terrific. And he just blew him away. But I did not know that that Dana Strum introduced Ozzy to Randy. And Music Therapy Laz asks, didn't Randy Rhoads beat out George Lynch? I don't know if George Lynch applied the same time as Randy. George applied after Randy passed away. He applied for the spot that eventually went to temporarily Brad Gillis and eventually Jakey Lee. Before Dokken, George Lynch went up to Ozzy's auditions, and he said, yeah, I'd like to play. Sharon immediately didn't like him because she was used to Randy's long blonde hair, and George had that short Kanjagugu kind of short hair, which was very out of style for a rock musician then. And he brings out his guitar, which was a green Bengal tiger Charvel, another San Dimas Charvel prepro, ironically. And Sharon looks at it and she's like, Ozzy, you can't hire him. He's got short hair. He looks ridiculous. And his guitar looks like a piece of snot. A piece of snot? A piece of snot. It's not like, a piece of snot. And of course, George took that, obviously, as a crushing blow. Didn't get the audition down, obviously, didn't get the part. And he named that guitar Booger after Sharon's comment. So when you hear of a Booger tiger, that's basically named after George Lynch's green Charvel Bengal. But yeah, that's when George applied for that gig. But when Randy got that gig, Dana Strum was the guy who brought him in. And I did not know that. Mark Dillon knew that for years. That's because you're smarter than me, which is not hard, so don't take it as that much of a compliment. I do eat my own boogers. Let's see. Just looking at the chat. California Home Builders says Dana used to track bass guitar at Musina at the school Randy taught at, owned by Randy's mom. I didn't know that either. Thank you. Mark Dillon says Lynch tried out both times. I can only confirm the time that he tried out for the Jake slot after Randy died. I can confirm that because I heard that story from George, and I own that Booger guitar, so I know the full history of it. I did not know that he tried during Randy's try, and maybe he did. I'm just not aware of it because the famous story was when he tried out after Randy's death. And Music Therapy Laz says it was on Tone Talk when Jake was on. Jake was telling that story also. So there you go. Renus Pinkle wants to know, is Bret Michaels bald? I mean, I'm sure the head of his cock is bald. How would I know otherwise? And why would I care? I don't care what Bret does. Bret's a great frontman. I mean, that's what I'll say about Bret Michaels. Bret is, personally, I think he's a really, really great frontman. I've always been a big Poison fan. You know, a lot of these guys, you don't realize, in the 80s wore hair extensions and wigs and all sorts of stuff. And, you know, a lot of guys just, you know, had long hair. I don't know or care what Bret's hair situation is. All I know is his voice is terrific. His performance is terrific, and more power to him. He's a great frontman. Fruitcake Tony says Dana Strum has played with Sebastian's band and Vince Neil's band. Yeah, Dana, here's the thing about Dana Strum. Dana Strum, and I'm already a huge Slaughter fan, and I was already, for years, a big fan of the Vinnie Vincent Invasion, regardless of Vinnie's craziness. Musically, Dana has always been a really solid bass player. And I know he's played with a bunch of bands, and I know a lot of people have had him sit in on stuff. He's very reliable and very talented. And for the bottom end, I mean, could you really ask for more than Dana Strum? I mean, you know, again, not getting fancy like Flea or anything like that, but a good, solid bass musician. Dana's terrific. And the fact that he's so old school, you know, networked into Ozzy back in the day and Vinnie back in the day and all these other bands, you know, just shows longevity when you have talent, you know. Let's see. California Home Builder says the tapping solo at the end of Flying High Again was a lick that George Lynch taught Randy. I don't know. I can't confirm that. Interesting story if it's true. All I know is Randy was a force of nature. I mean, you want to talk about Randy Rhoads, let's get into it, because, you know, here comes Ozzy, fired from Black Sabbath. And I mean fired, not, you know, hey, let's part ways. I mean, what do you mean I'm out? I'm fired? Yes, you're fired. And they brought in Dio, who was terrific. Of course, legendary Ronnie James Dio. But Ozzy, you know, he basically wanted to, you know, form his own band. He didn't want to give up. And when he found Randy, holy shit, talk about luck to get someone like that on your side. You know, it reminds me of like when David Lee Roth, parted ways with Van Halen, and he comes out with Steve Vai. You know, I mean, what better do you have than that? You know, if you're not gonna be with Van Halen, get someone equivalent. Steve Vai was a good match. So there was Ozzy coming out of nowhere with Randy. And look, Black Sabbath is terrific. I mean, you know, they are, in my eyes, they're the fathers of heavy metal. But when you're going solo and you want to throw it back in Black Sabbath's face, hey, you guys fired me? Look what I got. Oh my God. Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Madman. You can listen to those albums and just sit there dumbfounded, listening at Randy's prowess, his technique, and is coming out of a guy who's just about the size of the big guitar he's holding. I mean, how much more talent could you ever pray to God for than Randy Rhoads? And, you know, hey, look, hats off to Dana Strum for recognizing the talent and bringing him to the right place at the right time. You know?
Yeah. I never knew that. I never knew that he was the guy that found him.
I didn't know until this morning, literally, after being many years an Ozzy fan, a Sabbath fan, a Randy fan, and a Slaughter fan for that matter. I had no idea, but God bless him. Thank you, Dana Strum. You brought us one of the biggest legends into the right place at the right time. Because, hey, Randy could have gone anywhere. Could you imagine if Randy like wound up with like, you know, a different band rather than someone who already had a high profile like Ozzy? What if he made it into a band that just kind of kicked around and didn't really do it? I mean, remember, Randy was with Quiet Riot originally, you know, and they weren't anything until after Randy left. When they did the Come On Feel the Noise, which was a Slade remake, you know, that was originally an old Slade song. Who would have guessed Quiet Riot out of nowhere without Randy would come along and, you know, just take over MTV out of nowhere?
Did they have any hits before that?
Not that I know.
Quiet Riot?
I didn't hear about Quiet Riot at all until the album Metal Health. And that was Carlos Cavazo.
Yeah.
Who's also a terrific player, mind you. But, you know, Randy Rhoads, I mean, my God, you're with Quiet Riot. They didn't go anywhere. Not originally. I never heard of them. Now, Fruitcake Tony, this is interesting. Fruitcake Tony says Randy introduced Rudy Sarzo to Ozzy. It's all who you know, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Rudy Sarzo, he's another personal fave bass player. Rudy, another very versatile player who's just used on everything. I mean, Whitesnake and, you know, multiple bands have asked Rudy to come in the studio as a bass player and, you know, do his thing. Dana too. Yeah, Metal Soda says, who you know and who you blow. There you go. Yeah, and think about this. Think about it. It's what is it? Metal Health came out what, Johnny? 1981 or 82?
82, it looks like.
Okay. So here you get rid of Randy Rhoads. You think all is done. And then you do that first album of Metal Health. And timing is perfect. Because even though, you know,
83 is when it came out.
83?
So it came out after Randy had already passed away. So he never saw it. He never saw it.
That's interesting. That I didn't know. That's interesting. Pistolite 1972 says Quiet Riot didn't want to do the song at all, and Kevin sung the lyrics like that to be a jerk. So what was it? The record company said, "Hey, you gotta put this song on your album," and Kevin was like, just kind of being spiteful, and then it hit. And Kevin DuBrow wasn't like a classic frontman. Like, he didn't have those pretty boys look at that time. That's very interesting, Vistalite. Thank you. Kevin DuBrow wasn't like a classic good look frontman. He was cool. He was very cool. But like you looked at him like, he looked older. He wasn't like a pretty, 80s, you look at him versus like Vince Neil. Girls are looking at Vince Neil and like panties were sopping wet. You look at Kevin DuBrow, it's like, hey, my dad's here to pick me up. Oh no, that's the singer of Quiet Riot. No, and again, nothing against Kevin, rest in peace. He was terrific. But MTV was so the right time, just timing for that song, because it was a really catchy song. Come on, feel you the noise, girls, rock your boys. We get wild, 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 and the video's all lights, and it's a driving guitar sound. It was the right time for that song. I think without MTV, you probably would not have had that song be popular. I mean, am I wrong, Johnny? What do you think?
I think the music video really helped,
right?
And that's the early days of MTV.
Right at the beginning,
you saw those videos. I mean,
over and over and over.
That's how I discovered Van Halen, was because of the Jump video. It wasn't from the radio; it was from TV.
Yeah, and again, they followed it up with Condition Critical, which had some cool songs on it. I mean, and personally, different lineup, but I enjoyed Quiet Riot 3. And I thought Wild and the Young was a really cool song later on. Look, I liked Quiet Riot. Generally, as a band, I enjoyed Quiet Riot. But without MTV, I don't think Quiet Riot would have broken. I just don't think so. That video was a party on stage. Kevin DuBrow was, like I said, not conventionally a good-looking frontman, but think about like, AC/DC. They're not a band you'll look at and say, oh my God, these are good-looking guys, but they're a rocking band. Kevin DuBrow fronting Quiet Riot, and doing a great stage performance with the lights and the presence. He was really good in that video. And that was a fun video, and all the audience is rocking along and, the walls are shaking and everything. And,
Yeah. I was going to say something about that too. Back those early videos. Whoa. They were fun.
Was that my cock? What happened?
That was Periscope. That was somebody going live on Periscope.
Oh, good.
Well, it is Super Tuesday, so Super Strat Tuesday. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, the first time I heard of Van Halen was the Jump video, and then the scene in Back to the Future with the cassette tape that says Edward Van Halen on it. That was my introduction to Van Halen. Because my friend Brian here, he knows me as like a huge Van Halen guy, But yeah, that's how I discovered them.
Think about also the movie Footloose. Here was a movie, trying to show Kevin Bacon. Bacon. Yeah, here's a movie trying to show Kevin Bacon as a rebellious kid making a first impression, driving into, a country hick church Bible Belt town. And what song did they pick for his little economy car to be blasting out as he drives up? Metal Health. Bang your head. Metal Health will drive you mad. I mean, think about that. I mean, they're all, proper church going people. And all of a sudden, I'm like a laser, 6-string eraser. I got a mouth like an alligator. Blaring out of his car,
Yeah.
Great song. Great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good timing.
Yeah. It was all timing. And MTV helped a lot of bands back then. I mean, yeah, good songs, but a lot of those music videos really, really made a lot of that stuff too.
Oh no. If you didn't have MTV, you would not have a lot of the essence of how important looks were and image was at that time as we got into the mid 80s. Think about that. Because you can be, you could be Iron Maiden, and you could be Judas Priest, and you could be AC/DC and rock along. But all the glam bands, it was a lot about image first, even if they were like really, really good. Image was like suddenly so important that you had an image as well as talent to sing and play music, neither of which I have. But you know what I'm saying? Like when you saw John Bon Jovi, singing Runaway, all the girls were like, oh my God, he's so fucking cute. Look at him. And that was part of the appeal. And not that Runaway wasn't a great song. I liked it, but it was part of the image you had to have. Now that MTV's on and so popular, being visual, whether it's interesting or dangerous looking, or, stuff like Wasp, where you got a buzzsaw cod piece and, blood on your guitars. Image was just as important to project a band visual image as the music was. In a lot of cases, more so. Some bands got along just on image,
Yeah. I mean, some of those songs, the music videos really made, some of that stuff. If there wasn't a video, and if the video wasn't perfect for the song, some of that stuff it wouldn't have been as big. And by the way, yesterday was John Bon Jovi's birthday. I'm looking at.
And today is Quentin James' birthday. Happy birthday, Quentin. And yesterday, happy birthday, John Bon Jovi.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, think about a band. Someone brought it up. Was it Jason Lee or Vinny? Someone brought up Twisted Sister in the chat. There's a good example. And I love Twisted Sister. Huge fan. Rip AJ. Twisted Sister was a great band to me. I found them during the Under the Blade album. So I got to them early. But for Stay Hungry, which was their big MTV breakout, you had that look of Dee Snider, so groundbreaking, with the giant blonde bushy hair as wide as a car. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. And and the makeup and the fringe and stuff. And when you saw that, it was almost like in the video when the principal of the school looks down and, Twisted Sister, and what is that? Pointing at a photo of Dee Snider's image was brilliant. And just to get that image on MTV, you were standing out. You already had a talented band, but there are lots of talented bands. Now you have a gimmick that's drawing eyes on your band and ears to your music. Twisted Sister was, again, another band at the right time. And that's when, all the magazines were breaking. Circus and Metal Edge and, Player and all the magazines that had pinups of all these hair bands and all these bands that just had cool image. Wasp and Twisted Sister and Quiet Riot and all these guys early on.
Mm-hmm.
MTV, I think Fruitcake Tony says he spent more hours on MTV than in school. We all did. It was constantly on. If you were in the 80s, your house, your TV was almost certainly on MTV a lot of the afternoon or evening, and certainly on the weekend nights, Headbangers Ball later on. But there was always a lot of stuff going on MTV, and you wanted it. It was MTV 24 hours a day music. It was always on. You wake up with insomnia, 3 a.m. You can, watch whatever bands. There they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I used to watch that stuff before school. I would see I can remember for Van Halen, this was in 1989. There was a video for a song called "Feels So Good." I remember seeing that before I went to school that day, and the whole day I couldn't wait to get back home and hopefully see it again. The video, my favorite band, brand new video, and
Top
then I just
20 countdown video premieres.
Yeah, Yeah, and I discovered bands because of watching MTV in the morning before school, like the band Damn Yankees. You know
Oh yeah.
that video Coming of Age. I saw that before I left for school one morning, and thought, man, that was cool.
There were so many videos I saw on MTV that introduced me to bands. Because make no mistake, you're a teenager. You don't always have a ride to, the Sam Goody or whatever was floating around at the flea market or wherever you were buying your cassettes at the time, or your albums or CDs or whatever you're buying. But, on MTV, all of a sudden, these little obscure bands would pop up and you're like, Crocus, Screaming in the Night. What a cool fucking video. And now you had a story in your head going along with that song. So now when you hear Screaming in the Night, you're seeing that video image in your head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about how cool that is.
That can be kind of weird though, because if it's your first introduction to like a certain song or a certain band, and you see the video first, then every time you hear that song, you'll be seeing that video in your head.
If it's a cool video, that's great. Look at Aha, Take On Me. You ever see a video like that?
I saw the Family Guy did a version of it.
Yeah, Family Guy did a parody of everything. It's a genius.
I saw that version, and there might have been somebody else might have done something similar. But what I'm saying about the music video is, let's say you buy an album, and then you listen to it, and then you see the video. You ever been disappointed? Like
in the video?
By video, because let's say you already know the song, and then you see the video, and it's not quite, what you saw in your head when you heard the song before you saw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there have been videos I didn't like and songs I did. I could see that, but I mean, think about this, and here we go. James Severin says it best. This is you win the internet. I still say the best MTV video I've ever seen was Whitesnake. Here I go again. Break out the lotion. Yeah. Tawny Katane must have been sitting at home and just, what was that? I got a twitch. I think like 100,000 men just came at once. Literally. Yeah, dude, come on. Yeah, Tawny Katane was hot. And listen, video vixens overall. And Fruitcake Tony says it best. Guns N' Roses would not be the same without Headbangers Ball, because every fucking day you had the MTV Top 20 Video Countdown, you had Headbangers Ball, you had, the top videos of the day, whatever. You had all these things that suddenly Paradise City was always at number 1 or number 2. That and MTV's Home Sweet Home. Without that video, how many times did you guys see Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home video?
I saw it a few times.
Every day it was number 1 on the top 20 video countdown for like 2 years or something silly. Every day. And same, Paradise City, same thing. Every day you could count on, I want to hear Paradise City today. I'll leave the TV on for the next 2 hours. It'll play. Sure enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, MTV kind of became radio.
For us, it did.
Well, I mean, that's what it was supposed to be in the beginning. No, I mean, they kept playing the same set. They kept rotating the same videos over and over and over. And, depending on where you lived, everything would repeat, so if you missed a video, in the afternoon, just wait 3 hours and, you'll see it again. Everything is in rotation, the same. There's only a certain amount of things. Well, what I'm trying to say is MTV kind of became like radio rotation, Lenny. Yeah. Where in the beginning, it was all the obscure stuff and all like the weird stuff. And you would see like all this interesting things. And then later on, MTV became like a radio, like rotation, like Lenny's saying. And it's the same handful of things.
Yeah, a handful of lotion with Tawny Katane.
And then it became reality TV, which I hated. I hated more than anything. But now look at this. Look, that's what I've become now.
Yeah, damn that reality TV show. With podcasts and video. Fuck YouTube. Yeah.
Vlogging. That's become my life now, is reality TV, which I hated back, in the beginning. But
yeah, I hated reality TV until 3 seasons of Hollywood Treasures started sending me a lot of paychecks. Then I learned to love it. then I loved. No one loved it more than me. Oh, a large check. Thank you. Yeah, believe me. No, but look, you're right about that. Initially, when MTV first came out, everyone and their mother was starting to put out videos. And it was interesting because you never heard of any of these obscure bands and, and all this stuff, and you'd see like, Peter Gabriel, Shock the Monkey, and, a lot of obscure stuff.
yeah.
And then, eventually you got into the late 80s where the hair bands were full force. And every day you would see Warrant's Cherry Pie, but you wanted to,
Yeah, it'd be the same stuff. And, it got to the point where if you wanted to see like obscure things, you'd have to watch a show that was called 120 Minutes, which was not heavy metal, but the alternative thing started happening.
Well, and VH1 started.
Yeah.
Because during the hair band days, MTV was embracing all the hard rock and hair bands, and VH1 started getting like Culture Club, Michael Jackson, all the previously Madonna, all the previously,
they started doing like the hot early 80s stuff. VH1 started doing like TV shows dedicated to early 80s music. They had certain types of things that they would show. There was a point where VH1 became way cooler than MTV.
Yeah, in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Because at one point MTV dropped all of the hard rock and metal music, started alternating grunge and reality TV. So you had like, it's time to get real. MTV's Real World. Oh, fuck you and your real world. So Sasha went down the boardwalk and she tried to buy a taco. And this guy came up to her and just said, "Are you going to eat that? Who does that?" I know. We should talk to Sasha. Let's go find her. Where is she? She's at her job at Merry Go Round. Hey, Sasha, is it true a guy came over and talked to you about a taco you had for lunch? Yeah, it was. Man. Next time on MTV's Real World. I don't care if you want another roommate. There's only 4 bedrooms. Yeah. Holy shit. I mean, what garbage.
Yeah, I couldn't stand that stuff. But
no, look, VH1 eventually picked up later on the metal stuff, and they started with a lot of the love hookups. You had Bret Michaels' Rock of Love, Flavor Flav's Flavor of Love, I Love New York. I have to admit, I love me a good bit of trash TV,
But that's reality TV, but it's not. It's supposed to be, but it's a lot of scripting.
It's a lot of scripting.
Yeah.
But think about this. MTV was no longer music, because it's like, grunge was very short-lived. It lasted just as it was like a premature ejaculation. Then it was done, and everyone's like just covered in jizz. And then we were like, man, we look stupid. We're covered in jizz and a heavy sweater. And Kurt Cobain just like killed himself. Shit, this music does suck, And then there was nothing but then there was just nothing but reality TV, There was no music.
Now there's no TV.
Yeah, now there's no TV.
There's no TV at all, and there's no there's no radio either. Out here, radio's dead.
Yeah, I mean, well, you have satellite. And everyone.
Yeah.
Hey Siri, can you turn on, the metal channel? Okay.
Can you turn me on?
Yeah. Hey Siri, can you turn on heavy metal? Bink. I think you said Big Black Cocks. Is that right? No, heavy metal, heavy metal. Okay, I'll look up broomsticks. You know,
Broomsticks.
I don't write them, I just read them. No, but you know what I'm saying. MTV during its heyday was so cool. Again, in the beginning, it was just a mix of everybody. You'd have Devo, followed by 38 Special, followed by Bon Jovi, followed by Motley Crue, followed by, pick your favorite, Madonna, whatever. It was all mixed. Then they started isolating shows like Headbangers Ball, like, British Invasion or whatever, new wave stuff. They had little click shows.
But in the early days, they would show all the stuff you wanted to see during the day. At night is when they would show like the weirder stuff.
What they have, like liquid TV or something, or what was it called?
Later on, they started having like TV, like they would have like cartoons.
Yeah, MTV with cartoons.
Yeah. What was that? What was it? Let's ask the chat.
Well, Ren and Stimpy was like Nickelodeon and stuff.
Yeah, no, but they had like cartoon stuff, or was that VH1? It's when they started kind of going real, or kind of going towards
Jason Lee, Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead.
That's one of them. Yeah, that's Vistalite. That's it.
Yeah,
it's like Eon Flux or whatever. They started having like cartoon type stuff.
Yeah, and that was like when grunge was starting to appear. Eon Flux and Beavis and Butthead was like right along with grunge, the death knell of metal, I mean, totally. It's like, Beavis, look, Kip Winger's teeth whiter than white. Yeah, they suck. I mean, they were making fun of all the stuff I liked, and it's not that I disliked Beavis and Butthead, because I had no problem with it. It was just a one-trick pony that got old really fast.
We'd be jamming. We'd be jamming.
Fruitcake Tony. I just want to dive in just real quick, Johnny. Fruitcake Tony brings up Eddie Trunk. Listen, we met Eddie Trunk. I listen to Eddie Trunk sometimes. Tip of the hat to the guy. He plays what he likes, just like we play what we like, and we're all on the same metal family. His show and our show. We're talking about the same shows. So of course, yeah, I have nothing on Eddie Trunk. He's doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him at NAMM
for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
we were standing there.
And another one I'll tip my hat to, Ricky Rackman. Ricky was the real deal. Ricky wasn't, Ricky wasn't the kid that MTV hired that, like, okay, so I have to figure out this heavy metal stuff. I have to like heavy metal and hard rock. What are the band's names again? He knew it. Ricky knew it. Ricky and Tammy Down for Faster Pussycat, they were always hanging out on the Sunset Strip. They knew all their metal. They were there for all the right reasons. Nothing against Adam Curry. Adam Curry was a bit more of a poser than, more of like a legit, hard rock metal guy. But look, he did his gig. He gave justice to it. But yeah, Ricky Rackman, Eddie Trunk, those guys are, keeping the flame alive at various times of our lives,
I'm included in a Twitter thread with Martha Quinn right now.
Really?
Yeah. Our good friend Greg Renoff. He actually, you guys know Van Halen Rising, right?
Sure.
He's putting out a book on Ted Templeman.
Oh, cool.
Who produced their early Van Halen records. And he's actually going to do a book signing with Ted in Pasadena next month. And he tagged me, he tagged Caleb, he tagged Martha Quinn, all these people. I think Joshua.
By the way, was I the only one at the time who thought Martha Quinn was really cute? I don't even like short-haired girls, but Martha Quinn was such a cutie. Am I wrong? Was it just me?
Did anyone else in
the chat?
She still is cool.
Oh, she's adorable. She's still very cool, and she's still good looking. I'm just saying, was it just me? because I was always into long-haired girls. I still am. There was something about Martha Quinn. She was just so cute. I just want to know if it was just me.
You know what I saw her in?
My pants.
You sit here and you watch, you have your dinner and you watch YouTube at like midnight. You ended up watching all this obscure stuff. I was sitting here one time, probably a few months ago, watching a Brady Bunch movie, like a reunion movie from like late 80's or something. And Martha Quinn was one of the actors in the movie.
In one of the Brady movies?
In a Brady movie, yeah.
Did she play herself? Did she play with herself?
No. She played a character, but see, she's an actor as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And but no. In the Twitter thread that we're in right now, I guess she has a morning show on satellite. I'm assuming on Sirius Radio. I think she has a morning show or something, because she had. Well, check out my Twitter feed. Actually, you guys can watch us over there right now on Periscope. Go to @JohnnyBeane on Twitter, and we're live there.
Yeah, just leave
and leave some hearts. Leave some hearts. No, they can still comment from there. They can they can still comment from the Periscope feed as well.
Martha Quinn, you imagine her in the Brady Bunch movie. Jan is like, Marcia, Martha, Martha. Ah! Jan was a psycho. Jan needed some medication.
80's on 8. Okay, that's her. They have all those original DJs over there.
Oh, that's cool.
Doing shows.
JJ, you remember all the original DJs? Yeah, JJ Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace. He passed away.
Mark Goodman.
Mark Goodman, yeah.
Who was the blonde? Adam
Curry. Well, he was blonde.
No, not Adam Curry. He's later on. The first blonde guy. He had kind of short feathered hair.
Alan.
Yeah, Alan. Was it Alan Rickman? Is that it?
Alan Hunter? There we go. Halface.
Alan Hunter. Thank you, Halface. Alan Hunter, and thank you, Fruitcake Tony. And yeah, Nina Blackwood. She was the first bleached blonde in there. California Home Builder says Martha Quinn was rumored to have hooked up with David Lee Roth. I could see that. I mean, Dave, come on, it's David Lee Roth. Who wouldn't, if you're a girl? Yeah. Alan Hunter's like, Diamond Dave. Hey, but nothing wrong with that. No, you know what I'm saying. I always thought Martha Quinn was the cutie. I liked her. Hate short hair, but I liked it. I liked Martha Quinn.
Oh, she was fun. I mean, if you watch, a lot of the early, and thank you to YouTube. There's a channel that actually has like hours and hours and hours of original MTV programming, like from VHS tapes from back in the day, from the early 80's. And you can see, they might actually cut the videos out, but you see all the MTV stuff. So you see Martha Quinn doing all the bits, talking about this and that, and when our friend won the Lost Weekend contest, she was the one that read the name. Our friend Kurt Jeffries, who we've talked to on the show here. He's a good friend of ours. You see all that stuff. You see those original commercials. A lot of that stuff.
Do you remember all the early contests that MTV would throw? They came out with some of the coolest contests like ever.
Mm-hmm.
You remember? I mean,
that Van Halen one was probably the coolest ever.
That was what? You went on tour with Van Halen or something for a weekend?
Our buddy Kurt Jeffries, they flew him to Detroit. And he's got to spend a weekend with Van Halen. He got to go to the shows. He was backstage. They pulled him on stage. They threw a cake in his face. All that stuff. Watch the video. Right above John, I'll put a link to the video we did with Kurt. And that was a few years ago. It was a few years ago we did that, but
Fruitcake Tony says Martha broke his heart when she didn't read his name for the Van Halen Lost Weekend. I remember Halface brought up, I was about to say this, Win a Pink House in Indiana. That was John Cougar Mellencamp's contest.
I remember that
gave away a house, and then Cougar and his crew came with you and painted it pink for you. Talk about a contest made for me.
The Pink House. Well, who would you want? I mean, John Cougar's great, but what band would you want to paint your house pink?
Well, Bon Jovi also gave away his parents' house on MTV in a contest. Win the house John Bon Jovi grew up in Jersey. So there was that contest. You know which one I tried to win? They had a Beach Boys contest. And I'm not a big Beach Boys fan. But like right around I guess 1990, I think it was 89 or 90, the Beach Boys had a comeback album, not a come on your back album, but a comeback album. And the promo was,
when was this?
This was about 1990.
90. So that was back when John Stamos was playing with them. The actor.
I'm not sure when
Full House.
But wait, this was the coolest contest ever. I'll tell you why. They were giving away a fleet of Corvette cars. And when I say a fleet, one from every year of production. So you started with 1953, if you're familiar with Corvettes, which I am. You started in 1953, and then you got a 54, a 55, a 56, a 57, every year. And then you got, right up through a 63 split window and a 67 tri-power and a 68 first year Stingray and, a 69 L88 and, all the way up to 1990, a brand new ZR1, which at the time was this insanely powerful new Corvette supercar. So you had all these Corvettes, and the video from the Beach Boys, all it showed was all these cars driving all around the beach roads and down Pacific Palisades and down Malibu. And one person won all these fucking Corvettes. And I was like, every day that you could call in when they said, call now and try to get in on the Corvette. I was there on the phone. My mom, what are you doing? I'm waiting for a call. Shut up, woman. I've got to get these Corvettes. I'm there, and my father's like, what are you doing? Those calls are 99 cents each. Fuck you! I need my Corvette. I'm sitting there dialing. My dad's pushing against me. I'm holding him off. I'm dialing with my nose, dialing with my dick. And again, all you had to do is get your name in there, and they said, congratulations, you're registered, and then hang up on you. And I did this as many times as possible during the few minutes that they let you do it every day. And I was so determined and praying I would win those Corvettes. And needless to say, I didn't. And then I owed my father a lot of money for the phone bill.
The only MTV contest I ever tried to win was when Van Halen was opening up their club in Cabo Wabo in 1990. It was a contest where you would fly down and then you would be there for the opening. You'd get to hang out and everything. Even though I wasn't even old enough, I wouldn't have been old enough to win anyway, or to get in. I would still call. I remember calling the number, and I thought that was cool. I'm looking at RollingStone.com. They actually have a list of some of these contests. And there was a Motley Crue contest. Motley Crue's Cruise to Nowhere.
They kill you on the cruise. Tommy gets drunk, fucks your mouth. Mick accidentally overdoses you. Nikki's like, we got to get rid of this body. And, Motley Crue's trip to the bottom of the sea with cinder block shoes.
And then you come back with the flu.
Yeah, right. The toilets overflowed on this Motley cruise, and
Motley flu.
Yeah, I was sitting there plunging the toilet for Vince, and at least I thought it was the toilet I was plunging. It was actually Tommy's cock.
Oh my
Thought it was the
goodness.
plunger. It was just, you know. Lenny Lou says I made Mary giggle. Bladder control loss. Yeah. Oh boy. No, MTV back in its heyday was so fucking interesting and cool. And again, when they had these world premieres, you'd like set aside like some time, like, you know, you're playing kickball or something with your friends. It's like, hey man, is it almost 7? What time is it? Holy shit, it's 6:55. I gotta run home, man. It's like Molly Cruz like premiering like the new Home Sweet Home world premiere video. It's like, you know, you'll see it tomorrow like 30 times, right? You know.
Yeah, but you
But
wanted to
it's
be
fun.
you wanted to be the first one to see it because you could talk about it at school tomorrow.
Yeah, and
Like,
especially
hey,
like
I
Michael
saw.
Jackson's Thriller. Holy shit. Do you remember talking about that in school?
No, I don't. But
Joe's like, no, you stupid asshole. No, I'm not like that.
no. Well, no. I mean, I have no memory of that age.
That was a good year for you.
I mean, I really didn't listen to me back during those years. I really didn't listen to popular music. You know, I was listening to Arthur Fiedler, Boston Pops albums. You know, which
I'm sorry,
I,
well,
yeah, that's why when I say I listen to a lot of different stuff, I grew up on classical music. That's what I grew up on.
what you grow up in the early 1800s? What happened? I say, Sir Johnny of Beane.
You know, so no, my first
symphony awaits.
yeah
Young
yeah
Johnny, come forth and watch the harpsmen.
that's what my first introduction to music was classical music. It wasn't rock and roll. You know,
That's
but
like
what?
my first introduction to sex being a kick in the groin. What the fuck? You know, let me tell you something. When there was an MTV music premiere, and I knew it was something like a new Whitesnake video where there was a possibility, any possibility, to see Tawny Katane flip from one Jaguar to another in a miniskirt and possibly get her vag stuck on the hood to where, you know, someone
Oh my
came with a spatula to
god!
break the suction. If there was any chance of any of that
Oh
happening,
no!
I was glued to the fucking television. And here she goes again on my hood.
Imagine the outtakes from that video with them bringing out the plunger, bringing out
The spatula, treat her like a waffle. Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Johnny walking while I'm watching that. Johnny's walking in with a powdered wig into Johnny. Your violin lesson awaits. Young Master Beane, someone with a big switch stick ready to rap you on the knuckles. If no, Master Beane, no, that's wrong. Put feeling into it, Master Beane.
It's like again.
Yeah, he had his musket ready. They're walking in with a snifter box. Again, Master Beane. Again. Buckles on your shoes and Jesus.
You know, rock
but
me
Father,
Amadeus, you know. Yeah.
But Father, I've already polished my Stradivarius. Johnny, don't you be a little imp.
It's Super Stradivarius Day.
Super Stradivarius Tuesday. Jesus, I'm sitting there masturbating to Tawny Katane, and Johnny's sitting there like trying to figure out how to get his cello in tune.
Hey, I told you I listened to everything, you know.
Yeah, geez.
Literally. You know, I mean, you guys, you know, I know we like to joke around and stuff, but literally, a lot of the music I listen to, there's not even guitar in the music. You know, and I play the guitar, but that's what gives me that's what gives me the inspiration to play.
Was it one of those like giant Mexican poncho guitars, like this thick away from your body, and you know, boom, 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 and two other guys come out. Was that like your lesson of musical diversity introduction to guitar?
That's one of them. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
No, it gets to a point where, you know, if you can get inspiration to make music or play, it doesn't have to come from the instrument that you already play. It can come from just like the weirdest just sounds or noise.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, you could, you know, if you took piano lessons as a kid, you'll understand guitar a lot better. You know,
I'm doing it backwards, man. I mean, wait a minute.
was that your heifer mother trying to get into her powdered wig?
I wish I would have taken the piano lessons as a kid, because I'm taking the piano lessons now, and it's unbelievable. I mean, the stuff that you know the piano will teach you that you can apply to every other instrument, because believe it or not, you guys, but every professional musician out there plays the piano. All of them.
And that makes sense.
They all do. And they know how to read music. Even if they say they can't, they know.
They have basics.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I've told this story before. You know, it's like I would have loved guitar as a kid, except my parents bought me this. You know, I never asked to learn a musical instrument. I just wanted to play with my Star Wars figures, and my Shogun Warriors are here, my Micronauts are here. Here comes the land speeder. John, we got you something. Oh, maybe they got me the Death Star PlayStation. What did you get me, Father? In my best behavior voice.
That was the weirdest PlayStation, man. The Death Star PlayStation. My friend had that. It was just a rectangle, and you could see inside, and you could see all the different things. You turn the turn the thing, and the thing
compacted. Dude, this Death Star PlayStation was like paradise.
The floor would drop, and the guy would fall through the floor.
Yeah, God bless my Aunt Bernice. She went out of state, store to store, fighting people during the holidays to get me one. Thank God. I was like so happy. And then like I'm putting it together, and two of the columns were missing. So like I had the first two floors built up, and then the top half of the station was like hunched over because there were no support beams. I'm looking in the box. I'm writing to Kenner. Yeah, it'll take us a few weeks to get you those parts, but we'll get them. And I'm like, motherfuckers, I'm playing with like a limp dick Star Wars Death Star PlayStation. It's like even Han Solo's looking like, hey, kid, you're a loser and your parents don't love you. Come on, Chewie. You look at that thing.
Is that
Holy
it?
Shit. That was the most badass toy of like 1978. Come on. Look at that. The top floor. Okay, to your left, you had where Ben Kenobi shuts off the tractor beam. To the right, there's the ion cannon that made clicking noises with a stormtrooper in it. You go down one floor, there's Luke and Leia ready to swing across that big open chasm, which is what also Luke called Leia's vagina. And there's an elevator that takes you to all those floors. And then right under that, there's Darth and Ben having their fight in the control room. right? And there's a secret trap door right beneath where Darth is standing that drops you into the fucking trash compactor that really closes, and fucking they have foam garbage in there and the squid monsters in there. Dude, this thing was the badassest, most badass toy of 1978. And holy shit, my Aunt Bernice, God bless that woman, fought other parents, probably throwing elbows at Toys R Us and Playworld just to get me one. And I was so happy. And then two of those little columns on the right side that are holding up the floors, missing. And I had a fucking Death Star with erectile dysfunction. What the fuck? This is my tormented childhood. And James Severin, you rock too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm thinking I'm going to get that from my parents. No, my father comes over with a fucking Sears country western vinyl string guitar, right? Piece of shit. Like I could have farted. This thing would blow apart, right? Just garbage, right? I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? He's like, you got to learn an instrument, idiot. But I don't want it. Well, you're taking lessons this Saturday. Saturday? What time Saturday? 9 a.m. I'm like, no, Saturday, 9 a.m.? My cartoons! Yeah, well, Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner will wait for you. Well, so I'm fucking wanting to watch Space Ghost, and they schlepp me to this fucking guy's house. Pedophile, probably. And just by his musical stylings. And here he is sitting me down with a ditto, right? A little black and white ditto. Here's your song for today. Now watch me. What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? Change to G. What do you do with a drunken sailor? Change to A. Early in the morning. Open. Shave his belly with a rusty razor. G. Shave his belly with a rusty razor. C. Shave his belly with a rusty razor. Open. Early in the morning. Now you do it. No! I've got to talk to your parents. You're not motivated. I'm not motivated, motherfucker, because I want to watch Bugs Bunny Roadrunner. And I wish a boulder would fall on your fucking head. So that didn't last long. I learned to hate guitar. Meanwhile, I'm growing up and I love metal music. So I'm listening to cassettes. I'm listening to fucking Dio and Styx. And I got this cassette called Masters of Metal, which was terrific. It had Rush and Dokken and Maiden and just all sorts of good shit. Look it up on eBay. Masters of Metal cassette. Had all sorts of cool shit. So I'm loving that stuff, right? And, you know, years later, like in my late teens, you know, one of my girlfriends wants to get me a birthday gift. And she's like, what do you want to get? I'll get you anything you want. You know, she had a good job and all this shit. And I wanted to get an electric guitar because no one told me that electric guitars make that cool sound that I'm really enjoying on my musical cassettes. You know, let's see. There it is right there. Masters of Metal. Look at that thing. Read who's on that, Johnny. See if you can zoom in on that.
Which one? The first one? Was it this one?
The ones to the right. The two to the right.
Oh, it's so small.
Your other, yeah, that's what she said.
I can't see it.
Every time I hear that in my life.
Oh, you can't see it at all.
You know, it like, you know, Rush, Tom Sawyer at Iron Maiden, Run to the Hills. It had,
Oh, there we go.
You know, Styx, Mr. Roboto, probably Dokken, Breaking the Chains, and all sorts of cool shit. Let's see. Motley Crue, Looks to Kill, Rainbow Street of Dreams, Crocus, Screaming in the Night, a favorite song of mine. Twisted Sister, which one was? Oh, you Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Early Twisted Sister had great stuff. So I learned that an electric guitar could make all those sounds that I enjoyed. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she bought me this electric guitar, and like since then, I like loved the instrument. I took lessons there, in the city, and there was not lessons of like songs I liked, but it was like a lot of 60s. Like, my guitar teacher was a woman who was like kind of like hippie-ish. So she like taught me like a lot of folk stuff, and I wasn't really into it, but I was like, hey, can you teach me that how to play Judas Priest, Living After Midnight? Can you show me that? And she's like, well, no, but I could teach you some Janis Joplin. And I was like, well, it's better than Rusty Razor, right? So, I took some lessons. And then when grunge kind of chased metal away, now nobody was playing the music I liked. So I totally lost interest in learning guitar because I was the only one that liked that stuff. So I put it away until years later on the TV show Lost, living in Hawaii. I had tons of time, and I suddenly wanted to pick up a guitar again and, just kind of pick up where I left off. And then I fell in love with the instrument to the point I am today, where I'm like stupidly obsessed with it.
Mm.
Now I see which kind of headstock I want to sit on for my pleasure, That obsession. Thank you, Fruitcake Tony. Yeah, I lived in Hawaii for a year, Brian Spalding. During the filming of Lost, the TV show, I was in season 6. You have to live there. So I was there for 1 year. Jason Lee, if I could teach you some Vinnie Vincent, the only thing I could teach you of Vinnie Vincent is I could not show up to next week's show, and then you'll say, oh, Mancuta's doing his Vinnie Vincent out. Yeah, so.
What happened to him?
What keeps happening to him? Oh, look, he says every couple of months he's gonna have another private event, and he'll have like 20 people show up at $500 a clip. He'll make some potato salad. He'll noodle on a guitar supposedly for 10 minutes without you able to take photos or film, and and that's what happens at a Vinnie Vincent show. Great material though.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's tempting, right? By the way, please leave a thumbs up if you have nothing better to do, which clearly, I mean, you're here with us. So, and we're here too. And because Johnny and I have no life, believe me. After this, Johnny gets to tuck in chickens. I'm gonna cry into a bowl of Campbell's soup and contemplate the waste of my life. Yeah, if you could leave us a thumbs up, we'd appreciate it. Thank you, Crowbar.
And hearts on Periscope if you're watching this.
Yeah,
there's a replay
on Periscope. We love you too.
Yeah, there's a replay on Periscope as well. You can leave us some hearts. We like those super hearts. That's what we like.
Linny Lou says she's tucking Mary in. Or Mary's vagina lips slipping out of her panties? What's going on over there? I couldn't resist. I love you guys. Linny Lou and Mary, you guys rock. I love you girls.
It's 8, 9. It's 11 o'clock. You think Dave's home from the show yet?
I don't know. It depends if he's out with Desiree and what bands are they seeing?
Well, the headliner was
Is that the name of the band?
Eric Johnson.
Oh, Eric Johnson. He's a great player. That's a cool one.
Let's look up tour. Let's look up where they were.
Where were they Dave's tonight? Gonna get laid.
March 3rd.
You bring your girl to an Eric Johnson show, you get laid. Eric Johnson makes your Johnson wet.
Okay, so it looks like the show started exactly when we started.
Oh.
It started at 8 o'clock, which I'm assuming would be 5 o'clock because 8 o'clock New York time. That wouldn't be 8 o'clock our time. It'd be starting at 11 o'clock at night. So, So it looks like... I
wonder if Eric has the same audience we have.
Sony Hall is where he played.
Oh.
Let's look and see how much the suite was at this show.
Yeah. Dave and Desiree got a suite. It's like $40 each. It's,
How much did they pay to go to this?
Don't they have, like, when you get a suite like that, don't they have like a waiter coming around as well to like take your order of overpriced food and drink?
I don't think it's just a suite. I think at a lot of shows, you can get dinner like at your table. Like they're constantly bringing stuff out for you. If you have a table, they're bringing out like food and drinks, and you have a waiter coming up to you the entire time, the entire show.
Oh, that waiter better wipe it off if he's coming all over me. By the way, Renus, anal is ANAL. Anal. I know that from my elementary school spelling bee. Your word, Mr. Mancuda, is anal. Anal. Okay, anal. Could I hear that in a sentence, please? Your father got anal from your mother this weekend.
Oh God.
Okay, anal.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. N anal annulment annul anal. That is correct, Mr. Mancuda.
ANL. E.
Anal. Yeah, I won the spelling D.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Sony Hall. Oh, this is a nice place. Okay, it looks like there's no tables. I don't think he was at a table. It looks like he was.
How much did they charge him for that? How much did they screw him? Keep in mind that Eric Johnson's probably an amazing show.
Wait a minute, Buddy Guy played there one time. So there's been a Buddy
Guy. Where he got that Strat?
There's been a Buddy Guy Strat at that place.
That's what it was.
Here's where Nesdal was tonight.
Please don't show a photo of his bedroom in handcuffs. Oh, there you go. That's a nice looking theater.
That's where he was.
Well, there you go.
Look, that's all standing room. Right there.
So no raping of the suites. Yeah, Eric Johnson's a great player.
And there's like I was gonna say merch, but no, that's like a display. That's like a display of all different
Jesus, it looks like a whips and chains torture chamber.
But yeah. Oh, that's cool. But no, there's a picture of Buddy Guy with the Buddy Guy Strat.
Let's see.
Is that Sebastian Bach?
Where?
Is that Skid Row?
That looks like Bass. It could be. And I don't know who the guitarist is. That looks like Sebastian Bach.
I think that is. But look, there's Dave's guitar.
There he is. There's Buddy Guy.
But anyway, what is it? What is that?
There's that Buddy Guy Strat. Hey, listen, Crowbar, Sebastian Bach may have a pot belly, but that cat can sing. And talk about a front man back in the day. I mean, the guy's my height. He's like 6'4", and belt out range and power. That he's a great frontman. And back in his prime with Skid Row, forget it. I'd love to see Sebastian Bach and Skid Row get back together, for really for like a reunion show. No bullshit. That would make a lot of money. I know I'm not alone in that.
There you go. There's the suite.
Sweet. That looks like the Sarlacc pit. What the fuck is that? Holy shit. That's something I saw in Vietnam where a soldier would fall into a tiger pit like that. What the hell's that?
Oh man.
It says all those punji sticks. What is that? What's that? Is that a tub filled with ice and champagne?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to get in there? Just jump right in? What the fuck?
It's kind of weird. That's a cool place.
Yeah, you dive in the tub, you get a champagne bottle dripping down your ass. It's great. There's your cork. No, it looks like a nice venue.
Oh, Sebastian Bach played there. Look.
Yeah, there he is. And that's his solo band.
Yeah.
He's great. He does this trick. I gotta love him. Bass does this trick with the microphone on the cable. And you obviously have to bring your own mic and make sure it's this type before you try this. And he swings it over his head like a giant lasso, but like 20 feet into the audience. So this mic is like whipping over your head, And obviously you can't do it in every venue, and you have to make sure you clear your drummer behind you and you don't like belt out like into the head of one of your audience members and take out your bass player and, hang your guitarist accidentally. But it was a really cool trick. The joy of Sebastian Bach.
There you go. So that's the hall, Sony Hall. That's where Nesdal was tonight.
Are those folding chairs? Only the finest. Only the finest.
No, those are all like bar chairs. All
right. One ticket pays for that whole row of chairs.
Wow.
Hey, look, I wish Sebastian Bach was playing tonight as the opener. Who was the opener tonight for Eric Johnson?
Let me see. That's what I was looking for, but it didn't.
Bach alive.
Eric Johnson. Okay. So the tour was called Eric Johnson Classics, Present and Past. That's what the tour. Okay, let's go to Ticketmaster. Oh wow, this seating chart looks nothing like that other chart we were looking at for $10,000. It's like stage, general admission, and then VIP sitting on the sides. That's it.
VIP is like $30.
The event has happened already, so tickets are not for sale. Let me see more info. Lineup: Eric Johnson. So it looks like it was just him.
Oh, look, I mean, when you're Eric Johnson and you're that good a guitarist, you can hold your own show. You don't need an opening act. I mean, I always think it's cool, but I mean, look, he's a terrific player. Really, really, really good. Dave was probably in heaven. I'm sure Desiree loved him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'm sure we'll hear about it on Friday, and then
Dave will talk about it
next Tuesday. I'm just wondering if it's anything like the Andy Timmons show, where Dave took like an Eric Johnson guitar with him, and Eric played it on stage, all that stuff that happened at the other show,
Dave brings the guitar, and Eric Johnson looks at him and he's like, "Will you sign this?" And Eric's like, "Is that a Buddy Guy Strat?" Does Dave have an Eric Johnson Stratocaster?
I don't know. Dave, are you watching this? Where are you? 8. It's 11. It's after 11 where he is. So they're probably on their way home, I'm assuming.
They're probably driving right now.
Yeah.
Show probably just ended or is about to end.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think the show would be 3 hours.
Why not?
3 hours for one act?
Our show is 3 hours. Why
Oh,
wouldn't Eric Johnson's be?
I know.
We've been here and we don't charge anything. Eric Johnson's making money.
In 1 minute, it'll be 3 hours exactly.
Yeah, and this time we'll say goodbye to you people. We did an Irish goodbye last week without saying Irish goodbye. So we're gonna give a proper good night to you guys in a minute. And yeah, Quentin, by the way, happy birthday, Quentin. I do have a couple of Robin guitars. I have one that used to be owned by Tim Kelly of Slaughter. I had that on the show previously, and I have a one made of pink robinite that I've actually been playing this week. So kind of funny that you bring it up. Really cool. And Robin guitars are great. You know, I mean, some of them are like real obscure, like the Wedge and, you know, whatever. But I think they make a great guitar. They did handmade in Texas when they did. So either way, listen, everybody, thank you for watching our show tonight and dealing with our bullshit. Please leave a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please come back on Friday, Saturday, and next week, Tuesday. You know, we love our viewers, and leave comments below if you like the show. And if you didn't, leave lies below that you did. We'd appreciate that. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I know I keep saying we'll read, you know, previous week's comments, but you guys leave enough comments down below in the comment section and we'll read them next week.
Yeah, leave us something to do.
Like leave questions or leave comments. Yeah, leave us stuff down below that we can read for you guys.
Yeah, or just some questions you have. It's all good. We love you guys.
Compliments.
If you can lie about that. Yeah, the show was great. No, man, the show wasn't great. It wasn't great. Not your best. Not your best. Anyway, yeah. So we really appreciate it. Leave thumbs up. Just leave thumbs up, please. That's all.
Mm-hmm. And leave hearts. Leave super hearts on Periscope.
Yeah,
open up the show on Periscope and do this. You can do it on playback as well. And
yeah, I fingers just pretend it's the first time you've ever fingered a girl. Just kind of, you know, twiddle them a little bit and up there and just whatever you got to do. Yeah, Quentin James watches the show because he lost a bet. Hey, I can't blame you. I'm on the show because I lost a bet.
I'm here in life because somebody lost a bet.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna right as soon as we cut off, I'm gonna rub one out, thinking of Tawny Katane and Martha Quinn having a threesome with me. I mean, I'm hot and bothered right now.
And you got to have another chicken sandwich with donuts.
Yeah, only so I could have another heart palpitation.
Ouch.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys all for guys and girls all for tuning in. We love you guys. We love our audience.
Yes. We love all of you.
Johnny says it with such conviction. Yes, we love all. like Brain on Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky. We love all of you, right, Brian? Yes, Pinky.
No, I appreciate each and every one of you guys that tune in.
Love you all.
Yeah. No, I'm setting up podcasts. I'm setting up all different ways to do all this stuff. Thank you so much, everybody.
Swiss Picks, and thank you, Bang Energy Drink, for always being there for us. Yum. And thank you for those watching, listening on a podcast. If you're driving, now you could listen to something educational.
Mm-hmm.
It's channel.
Mm-hmm. And watch the video. If you're listening on the podcast, you know, click the link on iTunes, on Stitcher, on TuneIn, on Spotify. You'll see a link to this video so you can actually watch and see us on video.
Yeah, and you can check out the old San Dimas Charvel I brought on today for show and tell. We sold about 300 of them. All right.
Yeah.
Show alive.
Yes. All right. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. Rock on, everybody. We love you. We good.
Good night.
Johnny Bean TV.
JohnBean.com.